What's up, digital world? It's Winrate 0% back once again with a very special installment. Today we're going to be going over the EX04 set and we're going to be giving a unique rating for the cards out of 5 stars. I am joined by the fantastic Adam.
Hello, it is I am here.
The main man, he is back. We've went from the complete opposite of the last episode where we had 4 people in to having just the 2 of us. Just the 2 of us. So me and Adam are going to be taking you through a set review, having a bit of banter and talking a bit about the Digimon monster trading card game that we love.
The Digimon monster.
The digital
monster.
It's like when people say ATM machine, you know? It's like,
oh yeah.
I don't even know what ATM stands for, but I do know that the last letter in that is for machine, so it's a bit pointless.
It's automated teller machine.
Teller? How the hell does that
Yeah.
even work, man?
Like a bank teller.
Right,
was the
okay.
person that gave you the money.
That makes sense.
It's also like when people say PIN number, when the last letter is its personal identification number.
Number.
So you're saying PIN number. Or
Aye. Or people
whatever.
say chai tea. Pointless.
Mm.
Anyway, how's Digimon been treating you, Adam, my friend?
It's great. I'm just back from a Digimon store championship, except the Digimon was Battle Spirits. But yes.
So you're just back from a Digimon store championships, except there was no Digimon being played. It was a completely different game.
Yeah, it was a completely different game, but I came second, so that was fun.
Oh, that's good, man.
It's been fine. I don't have any EX04 yet, and I'm not likely to get any until BT13 releases. So I guess I'm skipping this mini format, which is a shame. But like,
Yeah.
I was just gonna buy the cards.
That's
because
what
I
I'm doing,
really
man.
want to play the Shine Greymon, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
But the Shine Greymon Ruin modes are like 50 quid on Card Market right now, and I am not paying £200 for a playset of cards that I will very rarely get to play.
No, that's understandable, man. I'm in the exact same boat because, I mean, the only deck I want to play from this glorious mini set is Alliance, just because I love Terriermon. And I don't think it's going to be that good. It's a decent deck, but I do want to run 2 Rune mode in the deck, which is a bit of a ball breaker, as you say, because they're pretty expensive right now. And I don't want to play Shine Greymon in the future. I don't actually know if it even gets ran in Shine Greymon past the current set. So it just kind of stinks that...
I think you run 2 bursts to Ruin, just for the option.
Maybe. I think it's like, depending on the meta, it could be quite good, because it's like, if you've not read the card, it's like a floodgate for little bodies. So against things like Bloomlord, it's just going to completely shut them down. And in testing with the Alliance deck, it's very powerful as well, because the Alliance deck cheats evolution. So you can quite easily end turn 2 at like an ultimate, or even like a level 6 if you get like a massive high roll. But that's besides the point. I'm really looking forward to playing some Alliance this set. I know a lot of people are excited for Shine Grey, a lot of people are excited for the Blue Flare support. Not your man, because I hate Blue Flare with a fiery passion. I think it's one of the most, regardless if it's like strong in the meta or not, I always think it's one of the most cancerous decks to play against. Because literally, see, if you're going wide, if your deck involves going wide on the board, there's nothing you can do. Because you just have to either not play the game and lose
before they can play the game, man, my friend.
Just pray they don't see Metal Greymon. Pray they don't see one Metal Greymon through all their incredible ways to search it, and you might come out with a win if you're an aggro deck.
Maybe.
But it's pretty exciting. Next week I'm going to have it's going to be this week by the time the podcast comes out. I'm going to do my first EX4 locals. Are we going to see you at locals anytime soon, Adam? It's too busy.
I really want to. I just don't have the time.
I know, man.
The Battle Spirits Saga Grand Open is next weekend, or probably is the weekend past by the time the episode comes out. And like, I'm going to be down in Birmingham for the weekend, then I'll be back up, and then God knows what I'll be up to. So fucking who knows at this point.
You've got too many damn judging gigs, bro. You need to get some time off to put your feet up and play some digital cards.
Yeah, and then what's the weekend? Yeah, so like the weekend after that I'm fine, but then the weekend after that I've got One Piece, then I've got One Piece, and I've got One Piece. Lots of One Piece.
Yeah, it's very real, man. It's very real. just like
Yes.
our hype for the Digital Monster card game as well. And
It's a
I
shame
mean,
because I still really love the game and I want to play more.
yeah, I'm in the exact same boat, man. But it's just life getting in the way. All the unimportant stuff, like work and relationships, getting in the way of the stuff that really matters, which is playing
Hard games.
funny wee men on cards. Yeah. But yeah, we're in the Alt Cup season now. Regionals have officially drawn to a close, and the meta on that has been defined. Not going to go too in depth into a meta roundup this week since we are doing the EX04 results, but it looks like it's been a pretty interesting meta. It's a little bit different from what people were expecting. I mean, people were expecting Machine Dramon to be going frickin' pog crazy, which it has done, and I'm very pleased with that. Well, to be honest, I'm pleased and annoyed with it because I do consider myself to be a bit of a Machine Dramon hipster, and in general, in card games, I don't really like to play the deck that everyone else is playing. I like to play something a bit different, be unexpected, and I also just I love making decks, right? I love deck building, so like
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, everyone else is building this one. The lists are pretty confined as to what they're going to be. Not a lot of new stuff happening here. It just bores me a bit. And then I know as well, when you go to a tournament, if you're playing deck numero uno, the guy across the table for you, or whoever you're sitting across the table for you, is going to be like, damn you, why are you just playing the sweaty meta pick? And I'm like, bro, I've been on this deck since it was playable in EX3.
You have been. Yeah, it's true. Everyone knows you were one of the OGs,
One of
the
the
OGMs, the original gangster machines.
Me and Big Harley, man, going hard with Machine Ramon before it was cool. Do you ever feel like that though, Adam? Like you don't want to play the deck that's the top of the table?
It's sort of. I think it depends. Sometimes I just want to win. Like I think I just want to win a game or two, or like win a locals or whatever. But then I just because I know that I'm not going to be playing at regional level events because I'm going to be fucking working at them.
I know.
Or organising them. It's giving me the space to just be a little bit more funky and just play something wackier sometimes. But then I'll be like, oh, I really like this deck. Like you say, like a couple of weeks before, or like a couple of sets before. Like, see when Alphamon first came out, and it was just like the one line. I was on that thing. I was like, I can make this work. And then it got more pieces, and then everyone went onto it, and I was like, man, it's not cool anymore. So I stopped playing it.
Well, that's what I was like. It was really fun at the start. Like, see when Dorogoramon was the actual boss monster of that deck. I thought that was so cool. Just making a big guy who had lots of inheritables, and he pops a guy every turn. And it wasn't very powerful. BT8 it kind of became quite strong, but I wasn't really playing the game competitively till EX2. I took like a big hiatus and I was just kind of playing it casually with friends online and stuff. But it's sad to have missed the ability to call myself like a hipster Alphamon player. It could have been cool.
It was fun. Because you were playing shit like Sunarizamon and like Grumblemon and fucking blocking, jamming Greymon, Metal Greymon to just try and make it somewhat okay. And it wasn't very good. Like when the Oriumon stuff came out, but not like I think Killboy was the set after that.
It was,
like
yeah.
Oriumon was like, all right, okay, cool. This could work. You can slot some stuff in, and then they gave it Killboy and Oryukin mode and that sort of stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, cool. And literally everyone else went, oh, this deck's busted. And I was like, oh, there goes my enjoyment because everyone was playing it.
I know. I do kind of like. Don't get me wrong, I don't hold it against people because I do get it, right? People want to play the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They want to win, but I'm also like, come on, man. Why do we all have to gravitate to the number one deck every time? It always takes up there's always one deck that takes up about 50% of the meta, and you're like, can you not just be a wee bit more original, guys? Can you not try and play something else?
And then you'll get like you see it with Crossheart. It happened to Crossheart. Everyone went, this deck's busted.
Yep.
I'm gonna get all the alt arts. What do you mean they've banned one card? I'm
quitting the game.
It won the World Championships. I'm gonna buy all the alt arts again. I'm like, fucking just buy cards and keep them.
I know.
If you need to sell them for money, that's besides the point, because we all need money from time to time. But like the people that just hop on and off of fucking bandwagons and decks, I'm like, just keep your collection,
I know,
man.
it's so dumb because what happens is, we've seen this cycle with so many decks now. Number one deck of the format is to be predicted the best of all time. Then everybody gravitates towards it. A ban list gets announced, or a ban list comes into place after a tournament or what have you. Everybody drops it like a sack of shit. The deck's value plummets into the water, and then the deck will still be good or playable for a bit, and then people will all just swap to something else in the next set and do it again. Like, I mean, Alphamon, BT9, they were like in Japan, okay, we're banning Alphamon. People went, oh, no, I'm not going to play that. I'll just play Melga instead. BT10, Crossheart, BT11, Metal Greymon. It just happens again and again.
I know, and like Alphamon's still good. Yeah, Doro Greymon's limited, but if you play the deck with more of a control variant as opposed to an aggro variant, it's still a really good deck.
Yeah.
And I have not seen it in about 7 to 8 months.
know.
Not once, not even at locals, not even like, you know, the occasional diehard guy that's like, I just like this deck and this deck by itself. Like, they're still holding on to like Monster Zoo from like set 1 or something like that. Monster Zoo, Mega Zoo. I just like this deck.
I just like it, bro. I really love Agumon. Agumon is so cool. That's why I'm playing Black Ball Greymon. Gets hit. Yeah, I just think Crossheart is so cool. Like Shoutmon, he's a man who shouts.
I like that they gave Greymon armor, but made him blue. Funny, I don't know if you saw the blue flare stuff. I think it is in this set, which we will get onto in a minute. It might be this set, or is it the set? Yeah, no, it is this set. The level 5 Metal Greymon, Digicross -2. You need to stack a blue Greymon underneath it because they caught on to all the little cheekies stacking the red security attack +1 Greymon underneath it. Like, you can fully see the thought process of the developers getting absolutely bamboozled, where they've made the Greymon that can Digicross with a Greymon underneath it, and they went, they're using the wrong Greymon.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. Like, I wonder if it was intentional or not when they came out with the card originally.
It must have been.
I think now, right, the reason they've done it now is because there's more Greymons, because you get another Greymon, blue Greymon in this set. So they've went, right, okay, we'll give you another Greymon, but now you can't use the old one. Whereas before, we only had one blue Greymon, so you'd only have 4 targets in the deck. I don't know if that's
the new Metal Greymon's better anyway, so...
No, bro, right, okay, we're gonna have some heated debate when it comes to this next set, man.
You don't even like Blue Flare,
I hate it, and it's because the old Metal Greymon is freaking insane. But, we'll go on to that, we'll get on to that. Adam, how have the alt cups been going? You've been judging them, right?
Most of them. Well, the EU ones anyway.
I was going to say, like, if you're going to a European Digimon event, there's a high chance you will see the man Adam strutting about like the big show.
Just walking around, going all the way to the back, you know.
Going, deck check.
Deck checking UXO. Shout out to UXO. I've deck checked every event that I've seen yet. Yeah, all cups are going well. As you know, I am an average Bloom Lordmon enjoyer, but of course it is the meta pick, which makes me not want to play it. But I'm really enjoying seeing how the deck is evolving. Looking at the North America Play TCG winning deck list was Bloom Lordmon with Quartzmon.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it was playing like the blocker, your level 4 Yakimon, the Parasaurmon. Like, Blossomon got hit, so they went, okay, here's Cherrymon and Entmon coming back. Mm-hmm. And they did exactly what I called out. Like, I think we made a video on the updated Alt Cup Hydramon ban list.
Yes, we've discussed this.
Where Hydramon got put to 1. And I think I went, alright, cool. That's not going to stop the deck, because they're just going to put a Nidhogg in instead.
Aye.
And literally every single fucking topping deck list for Bloomlord has had a Nidhogg and either a Lotusmon or a Rafflesiamon or a Shivamon. And I was like, called it you.
It's actually funny.
By by reducing Hydramon to 1, you've actually forced players to think about their deck for once,
I know.
and go, hang on, I can make this a high-cost toolbox with Bloomlord as the main aggro. Let's add in all this shit. And I was like, yeah, saw that coming. And I think that's probably worse for their opponents.
Yeah,
because
it
now
just
they don't know what's coming.
There's a lot of decisions it opens up, and we did talk about this before. Like, because Bloomlord is so malleable in the deck list, there's a lot of options available to it. And like the two cards they hit to one, the Hydramon and the Blossomon, there's a lot of just similar strength level cards they can put in, to the point where they're like, okay, it's not going to be as strong, but we just slot this in and it pretty much does the same job. Like Adam said, there's a
it's the
massive
ultimate. Like Beelzemon players have went, how could you take my Impmon away from me? But Bloomlordmon players have just went, yeah, okay, here's this instead.
Yeah, it would be like if they limited Bloomlord to 1, they'd be like, oh crap, man, what do we do now?
That would kill the deck. I think it would have to evolve into something else, like Quartzmon Turbo or something.
Yeah, I'd like to, I don't know if I'd like to see it, but if it did that, there would be even more options available, because I think the main thing that I don't like about Bloomlord isn't Bloomlord itself, it's the value engine and spitting out guys so cheaply, evolving for so cheap. That's the real problem of the deck, I think.
Yeah, so, it's not the high end, it's how it gets there so quickly, as well as what it gains off of it.
Yeah,
that's the problem. So I don't think there's much more they could do to limit the deck. And see, to be fair, I don't think they should. I think the deck is in a good place just now. You know, it's not constantly winning. Like, if you look at the Ultimate Cup results from Latin America, Bloomlord's not there for a change, and it's entirely blue apart from Machine Dramon with Ragnarlord at the top. You've got Ulforce, Ragna, Ulforce, and Blue Flare.
Mm-hmm.
It's still running Ice Wall. Thought they'd given up on that.
Nah, you run Ice Wall in every blue deck ever, man. It's so broken.
I know.
It's just a very annoying.
Did you play in the format when Ice Wall was unlimited?
No, and I'm so glad I didn't.
My God, I quit the game. Like, I didn't sell out, but I just stopped playing, and I'd done something else. I don't know what I did with my time. It's a black hole of memory to me, but I got Ice Walled 4 times in the same turn, and I was like, this is ridiculous.
That's just overkill, man. Like, why would he even need to do that? 2 does the job.
I had game on board basically, but he just I can't. I know I had game on board and he just done that, and I couldn't win from it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was big Gabumon format, which I'm not a fan of. But looking back on it, Gabumon, I'd probably prefer Gabumon over Melga, but Melga's also dying off a bit.
It's a very stinky format, man, and Ice Wall just does too much for one memory, really. Like, I mean, look at nerfed Ice Wall. Poison Powder's 3 memory, 2 if you've got a green tamer, and it's lose 1 when your opponent's is suspended. One of your opponent's Digimon is suspended. So
you're not even guaranteed they're gonna do it and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's like potentially better in some very, very fringe cases, but almost always worse. And that card's just like not seen any play. So yeah, Alt Cups are interesting. Machine Dramon popping off, Bloomlord popping off. We saw a lot of Ulforce as well, which has been interesting. Your man actually gets steamrolled. My only 2-0 of the whole regionals weekend a couple of weeks ago was at the Alt Cup to the guy who won with Ulforce. And the deck's pretty nuts, man. Like, if that deck high rolls you, there's nothing you can do about it. It just goes crazy. There's nothing.
It does seem pretty good. I don't know why I'm so against the deck either, to be fair. Ulforce is one of my... It's not my favourite Digimons, but like it's up there. It's probably just because it's blue, and I fucking hate blue decks.
I can just do some degenerate stuff, man. Like, see the game I played against the dude Gremlin's awesome guy, nothing against him. But one of the 2 games I played against him, the guy, and he was like, I'm sorry, bro. And his friend, who also was playing Ulforce, like, was sitting next to him, looked at his hand, and he was like pissing himself laughing, like, this guy is dead. I think he saw, it was like the 3rd turn of the game or something, and he had like 2 Jerrys in hand, 3 Renas, a V-Tamer. So he went for like, he took 4 of my security in 1 turn and ended on a board that was like Evade, Ulforce, Unsuspended, and 2 Leomon. And I was like, okay here, so I can de-digivolve the Ulforce. If I pop it, he's going to evade it with my Mega Dramon pop is going to get evaded. If I try and swing into it, he's going to block with the Leomon, he's going to pass turn, and he's probably going to dome me for game next turn regardless, because I can't wipe his full board. So I was absolutely crying out my gourd. It's like, if the deck doesn't high roll, it's pretty like manageable, it's pretty like fair, but it can feel nasty when it high rolls, and it will just walk over you like your man Cobb got walked over by it at Alt Cup.
Big sad.
I know. One thing I will mention as well is Red Hybrid doesn't seem to be doing a whole lot in the Alt Cup. Still a decent deck, still a good choice, but I think it's because of how much Machine Dramon's getting played. I mean, we had Crazy Dylan, the Red Hybrid specialist, on last week. Sheik was talking about how bad the matchup is for Red Hybrid into Machine Dramon, and I totally agree with him. Every single time I play against Red Hybrid, I think he was the only Red Hybrid player to take a single game against me the whole weekend. It does feel in Machine Dramon's favour unless Red Hybrid pulls the nuts on Machine Dramon bricks. So that's likely why we're not seeing a lot of Red Hybrid tops, in my opinion. Belzemon's still doing really well. The hit has made it mortal. One Impmon really slows the deck down a lot, slows down the consistency and the memory gain of the mills. But it's still a powerful deck, you know, being able to trash 3 security for 1 memory on a Belzemon's nuts. And memory manipulation and ability to run about 7 bombs in security is really powerful still. I mean, the only other real deck to talk about from Alt Cup is the Greymon variants, like the Raid War. That's doing pretty well as well. So, it's, you know, it's not popped off, but every single Alt Cup you look at, pretty much you see like one Greymon based deck there somewhere. It makes sense. It can be good into Bloom, can be good into All Force. A lot of the time they take in the Hades Force engine, the Black War Greymon top end, as well as the Raid War. So they've got that toolbox option. They can pop stuff on board, they can pop your Tamers and control the board down, or pull some aggro out of nowhere and kill you. So pretty interesting. We're coming to the end of this Alt Cup season as we roll back into the EX04 regionals season shortly. I've not signed up for any. Have you got any judging regionals?
I didn't even know there was any, to be fair. I know there's some coming up in August, but BT13 will be out by that point in time as well.
Oh, really?
Like there is no I don't think there's any events in June actually, or July for Digimon, because there's some coming up in August.
Man,
like I said, but like there's no format where EX4 just gets to be EX4 without BT13 being there, which is kind of stinky.
Yeah, that is a bit sad, to be honest. And I mean, there are some impacts. I don't know how you feel about the set overall, but I don't think it's the most impactful set we've had. I feel like it's basically just it's a BT13 pre-release almost. Like we're getting support for some of the main decks for BT13, like Galgamon and Shine Greymon, and a lot of the stuff we're going to go in and rate, but a lot of this stuff I don't think looks all that powerful, to be honest. Man,
have a wee look. There is. Well, no, I take it back. There is an Ultimate Cup coming up on July 1st.
Yippee!
For with Raid and Trade,
right?
For the EU. Now I will be at Battle Spirit, so I won't be judging that event, but at least they get one. And in terms of regionals, so there's a couple of July ones. Well, there's a lot of July ones actually for America.
Yes.
Same for LATAM and Oceania, and for Europe, there's one in France.
Is that an in-person one as well? Yeah.
It looks like an in-person one, yeah. And then the Raid and Trade ones in August and September have been announced and stuff like that. But so like we get one Alt Cup and like maybe when does BT13 come out again?
I believe it's July 21st or 20th, yeah.
So we get one in person, one in France, which, let's face it, I wouldn't travel to unless I was judging. Well,
no, I mean,
depends on how hard it is to get to be fair.
Could be fun. France is an awesome country.
It's in Lyon, which is near Paris, I believe.
Yeah, the only thing is it's a lot of hassle to travel, and like we said on the last podcast,
it's fucking nowhere near Paris. I don't know what I'm talking about, man.
Oh, so it's a bit even more of a bollock to travel to. Then I bet you'll probably be paying £100 a flight or something.
I think there is an airport in Lyon actually, but
that does make it handy.
I don't know. Google Maps has translated it all into French for me, and my French is basic at best.
God damn.
Yeah. So
not a whole lot in the competitive season though, which means your man can play Alliance all day long at locals and not feel bad for not testing.
In terms of EX04 though, I think, I don't know, but because Digital Hazard, I think it's either the first or the second out of the, like, in terms of how good it is. Like EX01, cool. Great for nostalgia, loved it. In terms of playability, you've got Machine Dramon. That's the only card that's seen competitive play out of it. That and Analog Youth and stuff like that, and like a couple of cards here and there.
Yeah, but EX02, as far as like archetypes, not a lot, right?
Yeah. EX02, yeah, I mean, like, you've got Gallantmon, you've got the Leomon package.
Was playable at the time. And then Mother came out at that time as well. So, I mean, there was like 3 new decks that were all good.
Yeah, and Beelzemon as well. Yeah. In terms of playability, very good deck. I didn't care too much for it, but that's because I've said many a time, I don't care too much for the 3rd season of Digimon. So I wasn't really blinded by nostalgia, but I can see why it would be highly rated. EX03 was a fucking mess. Absolute shambles of a set. It doesn't matter how good it was, and let's face it, I mean, you've got Examon, you've got Hydramon.
Yeah, there was
some Wargreymon stuff,
yeah,
I guess.
I actually think EX03 is quite slept on, to be honest. Like, Examon was a good deck. Bloom Lord was not playable yet, because it was semi-playable, right? It didn't have Bloom Lord, but that was like a decent deck at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you got Machine Dramon stuff that wasn't really super popular till the BT11 support, and I mean, Dorbrick's still a really good deck. So there's a handful of stuff.
And D-Links did come out, and since Bryce isn't here and we know he's not going to listen to this, I kind of like the D-Links deck. It is kind of cool.
Yeah, D-Links is a cool deck. It's just sad that it's like not good. Basically, it's just I think that about a lot of decks. So that deck's cool. It's like the Source on play stuff that came out. That's cool. 4 Great Dragons was a cool archetype as well. So
yeah, and if anyone listening to this dares tell Bryce that we said that, you will be banned. So we'll go back to hating on D-Links now.
Yes, do not. The D-Links hate train has left the station once again.
Aye, but like in terms of like erratas and shit, like that was the worst set in terms of quality. Yeah. Horrendous. It was so bad that Digimon, that Bandai actually got a grip of themselves, which is a rare Bandai W sometimes, and there's been little to no erratas for all sets since then. Basically, a couple of things here and there. That's fine. Things slip through translation all the time. You can't you can catch everything, but they haven't. But it's like maybe 1 or 2 a set, as opposed to 66 cards or whatever it was.
How's that joke?
Awful quality control. And then EX04, which we'll start kicking off our talk with. I like the set in general. It's got a lot of funky new archetypes, and I really wish that there was an official sort of sealed format, or like not Ultimate Cup format, where, because it's a single color format obviously, but like archetype format where you can only play cards associated with a tamer. So like Wargreymon, Shine Greymon, Gallantmon, whatever. Like, but you can't take in like spicy things that would make the deck better. You can only play what that tamer would play. Kind of like if you had like Dragon Ball or One Piece or Commander Magic, where you had like a leader tamer, and then you could only play cards associated with them, and then all they need to do is release a document, saying what cards are associated with each tamer and stuff like that. That would be really cool.
Are you familiar with the Chosen One format? That's the closest thing I can think of.
I am indeed. It is a cool format. I've never got to play it because I've never seen any interest in it. But it would be nice if that was legalized. And hey, Ultimate Cup coming up next year, they change up the rules constantly, so we might get to see it.
Yeah, you know when they released that poll of like what alternate rule types would you want, and everyone was like nothing, 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 just play the game normally. And then they did the funky alt cup ruling where you can only have a colour from the egg.
Which I like. I like this format.
It's interesting. The only thing I don't like about it is how it's like the best prizing is an Ultimate Cup, and like regionals is like the main way to play the game, and you get punished for like playing that instead of Alt Cup. But that's it. That's besides the point. But Alt Cup's a fun format, and on the list of alternate rule sets, they basically copied the Chosen One rule set and gave people the ability to vote on that. They just put the
but
one
no
in there.
credit, I'm guessing.
Nah, they didn't say Chosen One. They just said like you start the game with a tamer in play and a rookie in hand, the same one every time. So that would have been interesting. Machined him on my bloody analog man on board at the start of the game every time. Holy shit!
No,
that would be so broken, man. I was thinking about that the other day.
Horrendous.
Honestly, it'd be insane. It would be unbeatable, I reckon. But yeah,
Crossheart could start out with the triplets.
That would be broken as well, man.
That'd be cool.
Like, I mean, it would be interesting just because the power ceiling would be so high. But
yeah,
everyone could do broken shit. I mean, even something like
Start
Meguya would be cool.
When the Ultimate Cup format kind of got announced or whatever, there was like all of this backlash against it, but I'm pretty sure that I was always for it. I think a change up in the rules is good, and now that I've judged at them and I've watched them and I've seen them in action, I fully stand by what I said. I think it's such a cool format, and like here, I am all for multiple formats that use the same cards. It stops them from releasing a new card game. Well, it probably wouldn't stop Bandai, but any other company. I think it's super cool because we get all these events alongside it, whereas previously it was like, here's a regionals, here's an Ultimate Cup. It's the exact same rules, but you can mulligan. So everyone was like, well, I don't want to play regionals then. But like it's so different that there's so many different archetypes. And like look at like Mirage Galgamon, not Mirage Galgamon, that deck's doo-doo water baby. What's the other one? Ulforce. Deck's sucky. It sucks in standard format. It's just not as good as the main decks. In Ultimate Cup, it absolutely shines, which is super cool. It's not sucky in regional and standard, but it's not the same power level.
Yeah, it's not as big a deal. So
it's so much better in Ultimate Cup. I love all these different formats.
Okay, guys, quick cut there, and now we're going to go into the set review of EX04 Alternative Being. So we're going to introduce a new system here to try and make it a wee bit more interesting. These set reviews can be quite long and dragged out. So what me and Adam are going to do is we're both going to give a separate rating of stars from 1 to 5 on each card. If the card is gash and we decide on a rating for it quite quickly and there's no discussion, we're just going to move on. But the way the ratings are going to go, they're going to be kind of general, but the ruling guideline for the stars are 1 star, the card is gash, it's unplayable pack filler, right? So don't even give this a second guess when you're considering putting it into your deck. 2 star, close to playable, it might make it into some topping lists as a rogue one-off, but don't expect to see it often, or expect to see it as a consistent card in the decks it's meant to be played in. 3 star, it's a good card, it's likely to see play in its archetype, and it'll probably make its way into multiple topping lists. 4 star, guaranteed to see play in the archetype, it's a very powerful card. 5 star, it's an archetype defining card, right? So the kind of cards you read and you go, that's broken, I want to make a deck around this. A wide play rate across multiple decks, or a mandatory include to play in decks that it can fit into due to its strength. So we're going to make our way down from the top here. We're going to go by colour and by archetype. So we're going to start off with the new blue egg Missimon, which is the on deletion effect. If you have a Digimon in play, draw 1. What do we think, Adam?
Well, I was on fucking RB1 there going, why is Magna Angemon in this set?
Missimon's not in this one.
I'm in EX4 now. On deletion, if you have a Digimon in play, draw 1. So, let's compare it. to the original Blue Flare stuff.
Yeah, so
Came out
I'll
in set 10.
I'll say right now, man, there's no chance this gets played over Wanyamon, right? Which is when attacking, if you've got a blue tamer, draw one. It probably doesn't see play over the other plus 1k eggs either. And it's probably not going to be better in any decks outside of Blue Flare either, like All Force or like your Imperial or anything like that, where the jamming egg's way better than Demi V.
Yeah, the thing you need to remember with it is that draw one's great, but something has to die for it to happen. I'd rather draw before that happens with with another egg.
I think this is actually really weak, because like you just said, Adam, it's on deletion, not when attacking. If it was when attacking, if you have a Digimon in play, it would be better, but I don't even think you'd play it still. And I think its condition for the draw one is actually harder to achieve than Wanyamon or jamming with Demi V.
Yeah, because you need to have another Digimon out.
Yeah, so
as well as whatever messy one's under.
It's just way more inconsistent and a lot slower, so I would go and slap a 1-star on this card.
I'd probably put it at 2, just because it could be played in something. And
it could come up down the line, potentially, but right now, I think you're going to struggle to see a list with this card.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll go with 1.
Happy days. So a 1 from Adam, a 2 from Cobb. Galsmon, right? So the last Galsmon was very powerful. Let's read this one. Your turn, once per turn. When a card with blue flare and its traits is played, draw 1. When you play a card with Twilight and its traits, return 1 card with Digicross.
Why are we on Galsmon? What about the other eggs?
We're going by colour and archetype, man. Colour and archetype.
We're hunting red.
No. We want to give people a good overview of the archetype before we move on, I would say.
Okay.
So we'll go to Galsmon, blue rookie. Like I say, when a card with blue flare and its traits is played, draw 1. When you play a card with Twilight and its traits, return 1 card with a Digicross requirement from your trash to your hand. Does this see play? It definitely doesn't see play over the old Galsmon, which is just an insane card. And the floodgates or other fillers that people put into blue flare, I actually don't think it's more powerful than like Madoki or Sayako. What do you think?
Well, yeah, when a card with blue flared in its traits is played, draw 1, it's good. You need to look at it as 2 separate effects. So it's played in the Twilight deck and it's played in the blue flare deck. You get 2 different effects. I think it's a good common. Whether it will see play or not is another thing. But it's a rookie that has 2 different effects for 2 different decks, which I think is better than just a 1 effect sort of thing.
Yeah. So the thing that's deceptive about the 2 effects, Adam, is, are you familiar with the Dark Knight Flare deck they're trying to make here?
So not exclusively.
So basically, this set is blue flare support, right? And it also has a fusion support between blue flare and Dark Knightmon, right? Now we'll look at the boss monster a bit later. You guys will see it on the screen now, Grey Knightsmon. But basically, this card will never see play in Dark Knightmon, and potentially could see play in blue flare. But the Dark Knight blue flare deck overall is considered to be very, very laughably weak. So personally, I don't think this is going to see play in a lot of lists. Do I think it's horrible? No. Blue flare needs all the card draw it can get, really. So for that reason, I'd potentially call it a 2-star card. It's not horrible gash, but it's pretty close.
Is Grey Knightspawn just Dark Knightmon riding on a Metal Greymon?
Yes. They Digicross together.
It's like the old fusion Gaia the Dragon champion from Yu-Gi-Oh!
It's actually so similar.
Gaia the Dark Knight and not Gaia the Dark Knight and Curse of Dragon.
Yeah, it's actually really similar, man. I never thought about it. He's even got the damn lance and everything. Yeah, they've used polymerization to fuse the two into a horrible card. So if you could give this Galsmon a star, Adam, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 2-star.
I think 2 is fair. It's even close to 1 for me. But I'm not going to go too close to 1 because, drawing cards is always nice, especially in blue flare. Moving on to the next blue flare card, we've got Greymon. 4 cost to play, 4k DP, evolves for 3 memory. On play effect, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add a Kiriha, and 1 blue or black card with Digicross requirements from among them to your hand. Trash the rest. It does have on deletion save, and the inheritable is when attacking, draw a card. What are we saying?
Yeah, it's pretty, like, having more search is always good, especially when it can net you 2 potential cards, especially for a 4 cost, and it gets you a 4 drop on the board. It's when attacking's a little bit weak. I'd still want to play the old,
Definitely.
pardon me, the old Blue Flare Greymon, but as a secondary level 4,
Exactly.
it would be fine. We're going to talk about it literally right now. You've got Male Bertramon and the other sort of level 4s, so you might struggle to fit it in, but I think maybe as a 2 of or something, for the extra search is pretty good.
Exactly my thoughts, man. Just gives you extra numbers for your Greymon. The new Metal Grey is restricted to blue Greymons as well, so it's just a nice searcher. It's searchable with your Blazing Memory Boost as well, so you can look for this card, you can use it to find more pieces, and if you're struggling to find the better, it is definitely a better card, original blue Greymon, then you can use this instead. I'm going to give it a 3-star.
Yeah, what did we say was the rating for 2-star again? Oh yeah,
2-star, close to playable. It might make the list as a rogue one-off. It's not awful, and it could come up occasionally, but you won't really expect to see it in decks.
I think I'd give this a 2-star as well, because I think it would be a 3-star if it had a special Digivolution box, but it's a 3 cost to evolve, and sometimes Blue Flare does go up the stack a little bit, and I think that could hold it back a bit, so I think I'll give it a 2.
It definitely does hold it back, man. I think the thing is with Blue Flare, they're trying to keep the theming of you play the cards from hand. It does definitely hold the card back a bit because of that. Like, normally you want to raise your Gaussmon. It also doesn't
have a Digicross.
Nah, you can cheat it out with Gaussmon as well, is one good thing about it. Because sometimes, I mean, in very rare situations, but sometimes you've got your Gaussmon and nothing to play with it. So I think a 2 or a 3 is fair. I'm between the 2, but I'm going to go with 3. Because I do think you'll see at least one of this in every Blue Flare deck.
I think you'd see one of it, but I don't think it would. I don't think it's going to be enough to see major competitive play.
Fair enough, man. We'll move on to the other second best Blue Flare card, Male Bertramon. Has the 5 cost to play from hand, 5k DP, 3 to Evo like Greymon. On play, one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level gains when attacking lose 2 memory until the end of your opponent's turn. On deletion save, and it gives you the inheritable of jamming, which is something Blue Flare's always lacked, because the Metal Greymon, I think it was, 8k, 10k, something like that?
Yeah.
So it does die to a lot in security, which can really hold it back. So I think the jamming's really nice, but I think the on-play effect and the cost to do that's a little bit gash.
I like this more than the Greymon. I think jamming's good. Always good for blue. When attacking, lose 2 memory on a Digimon with the lowest level. Now, if you're playing against something like Bloomlord, you're going to be giving it to like a Palmon or something. It doesn't really matter too much. But if they've went up the stack and all they have is a Black War or something out, I think that's really good. It's super situational, which is obviously why I don't think it's going to be a mandatory 4 of.
Yeah.
But I think it's still a decent card. You know, if they Ice Wall and then slap down a Male Bertramon, goodbye turn.
Oh,
basically.
they're going crazy.
So I think this is better than because they've already got a bunch of search anyway. But more unique effects like this is going to make it, well, horrendous to play against for one thing, but it's still adding more to the deck, which I think is always good. I hate when they're like, oh, let's give this archetype another searcher because they can't think of something unique to give it. This is more unique and I kind of like it.
It is a cooler card, definitely. It's kind of hard as well because obviously neither of these 2 cards are as strong as their original counterparts from BT10. Nope. We agreed on that, so it's it's also awkward because they've, in my opinion, they've gave the better on-play effects to the Greymon that's 4 to play, and it's a searcher, which is... Searchers are just fucking broken, especially in a deck like Blue Flare that's very piece reliant. And then this card's dearer to play, and arguably the on-play is like less impactful. Could be more impactful, but I also think it's less consistent. But the Inheritable on Mailbird is so good, and I think a lot of people might get potentially duped into running more copies of this than they should because the Inheritable is so nice. This Blue Flare, can you remember this? Does Blue Flare actually play the Triple Tamer?
No, it can, but as far as I'm aware, it's obviously a 4 Kiriha, and then they run the new Kiriha and Nene, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
I've seen some decks run it, but I would say no as a majority.
Agreed, man. So to me, this card is it's so hard to rate because if you see this in hand, you're going to be crying. Now the good thing is like you can cheat it out with Galsmon as well, so it's going to be less upsetting that it's in the early game. A lot of the time, probably going to be a brick in hand, but the Inheritable is so vital that I think I'm forced to give this a 3-star.
I would give this a 3-star, yeah.
Respect. Agreed. First agreement so far, right? Or we had another 2.
We agreed on the Missimon, but this is an important card.
Yes. So, moving on to the archetype defining Metal Greymon. Now I say that because the last Metal Greymon was so good that it basically defined the archetype. This one, I personally don't think it's as powerful, but if we go into it and we'll break it down. This Metal Greymon's a 7 cost to play, 7k DP. There's no other 7s on the card, sadly, so you can't say it's like a lucky 777 sort of deal. But the on-play effect is it gains Rush for the turn, like a lot of crossing cards do. Then, if Digi-crossing, choose 2 different Digivolution cards under one of your opponent's Digimon and trash them. So that's pretty cool. Being able to select them is actually a massive boon as well, because we know how Blue's Digivolution trash mechanic got cucked a bit by the introduction of the X antibody option. So
yes,
that's pretty nice. And the Inheritable effect on this is probably one that's never going to come up, because if you're playing Grey Knightsmon, you're insane. But it has an Inheritable when attacking. If this Digimon is Grey Knightsmon, one of your opponent's Digimon with 3 or less Digivolution cards can't attack until the end of the opponent's turn. And it has the same requirement as the last Metal Grey, where Digicrosses with a reduction of 2 with a specifically Blue Greymon and Male Birdramon. So what do we think, Adam?
Well, before we started, I did say that I thought this card was better than the original one. However, I was misremembering what the original one done. And I would like to go back and disagree with myself now, because I thought that the original Metal Greymon did not give itself Rush. I thought it did Blocker and a bunch of other things.
Okay, got you, man. I was like, what the hell is this guy smoking? The old Metal Greymon's absolutely insane. So it's just like, to me, it's not quite as good. But it's not far off. It's a nice thing, and this is what I'm seeing with a lot of this Blue Flare support here. To me, all of the new cards, apart from the Tamer, are not as good as the old cards. But they do improve the consistency of the deck massively, which is one of the big things Blue Flare struggled with. And this card isn't awful. You can still put the same Inheritables under it. You can still strip sources. And it says the old Inheritables were the main reason Metal Greymon was nuts, right? Like, you swing, you unconditionally stun something, you unsuspend if they've got 2 things on the board. This card still does this, right? So you're probably going to run at least 1 or 2 in your Blue Flare decks, and I am forced to give it a 3-star for that reason.
Yeah, I'd give it the same. I think with the way that you can see decks evolve, in my opinion, is when they start branching out into more of a toolbox sort of variant where they've got more options available to them. Some decks can't do that because they risk consistency and they risk just making their deck garbage by adding too much things in. But the decks that can constantly evolve and become a bit more of a toolbox, like Bloomlord, like Black War, like Blue Flare, like Crossheart, the more support they introduce, the easier it is to do that. But it still takes skill for that to happen. And if you know what you're doing with a toolbox deck, and you can play, you've got the option of being aggro or control or stall. This deck doesn't stall, but it does control very well if you want it to.
Oh boy,
And
it
of
does
course
it stall.
and it can do aggro. Whereas before it was very heavily control variant. Yeah, it had aggro, but it was much more control. These sorts of things are giving it a little bit more aggro, and it's helping the deck to consistently evolve. So yeah, I think it's good. I don't like Blue Flare as a deck.
No, it's my most hated, well, second most hated deck of all time. It's the security
Oh,
control.
have you moved away from the cross shard pattern then?
Cross shard was
Oh.
like third, right? But this is
Okay.
like this crosses as well, which is a very annoying mechanic to deal with, I think. And like Blue Flare, like Adam was saying, I would say it's a weird deck because it is aggro, but it is also like control, and because of the stun elements at the same time, it can go into the long game and still have a chance. And I think the new resources we're giving it here give it a much better chance against certain decks like Machine Dramon, even against like cards like Agumon, where you can remove key inheritables from the card, like its deletion prevention, its bounce prevention, and you can like go up and like Decker Grey something with this if you remove the bounce prevention. So I actually think this card's really nice as an alternate option to the old Metal Grey. And the more I look at it, the more I think it might even be close to or on the same level as the other Metal Greymon as well. So I don't know if I can quite give it a 4-star, but it's me fence sitting, and I'll have to give it another 3-star here. Pretty good.
What, Metal Greymon still?
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3, man.
Yeah. I'd give it a 3. Less of a 3 than the original Metal Grey. But the original
Yeah.
Metal Grey was like a 5, to be fair.
The original Metal
Or a
Grey is
4.
like a 4 or maybe a 5, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. So we have the
So
last
moving-
card here from the Digimon lineup. Do you want to read this one out, Adam?
Yeah, we've got Grey Knightsmon, so on play, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon, then all of your opponent's level 4 or lowers can't attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Big old stun boy.
Yes.
All turns when this Digimon would be deleted or returned to hand or deck, you can spit out a Metal Grey and a Dark Knightmon from this Digimon's Digivolution cards, essentially depolymerizationing or defusioning it onto the field unsuspended. It can digicross, so it's a play cost of 12 and it's 12k, so you can digicross it down to an 8 cost, which means you're going to play it, but unless you're playing a bunch of memory gaining cards that aren't in your colour, like, 4 Hammer Sparks? Sure.
Hammer Spark, Hammer Spark, Hammer Spark, Hammer Spark.
Like, that's still a big hefty cost. Yeah, granted, it stuns a bunch of things, assuming you get it out, but it's an SR.
This card is so bad.
Card looks cool.
It's so
It
bad
looks
to
really
me.
cool.
Why did they have to make it 4 or lower can't attack? See, if it was 5, you'd at least have a case to talk about it, right?
Yeah, like,
But
see if I'm passing my opponent 8 memory, I want to be stunning a level 6 at least.
yeah, so like if it was a 5, you could go de-digivolve the big stack and then the 5 can't attack. But
Yeah.
the annoying thing is it's a blanket effect, right? So they can just evolve over it and they can attack.
Yep.
So it's like it's not going to affect many decks. Rookie Rush decks don't exist right now. All the decks that do go wide, like Bloomlord, are just going to evolve up and not care. It costs too much. They should have made it like Digicross 3 because it digicrosses with Blue Metal Greymon and Dark Knightmon. So that's really annoying. The one thing
Yeah.
that I do think is a saving grace with this card is spitting out a Metal Greymon and a Dark Knightmon is absolutely nuts. Because
Yeah.
the
You have to play it in its archetype, then you can't just use it in Blue Flare.
no, because you'd have to drop this for 10 in Blue Flare.
Yeah.
Which is just not great. And the other thing is you're going to want to, if you would need to run Nene to get the value, so you can give this thing blocker, which spits out Dark Knightmon that's a blocker, which spits out 2 cards that's a blocker. So that could be
Yeah.
really frustrating to deal with. But the on-play effect is not good enough, and the card is too costly overall. Personally, if they wanted to make the Dark Knightmon Blue Flare combo deck actually playable, they should have made this card better, because as of right now it's just too expensive,
Yeah.
too hard to build around. There's
Like,
too
you're
many
taking
slots for both decks.
You're taking a well-established meta deck, which is Blue Flare, and you're taking a well-established rogue deck, which is Dark Knightmon, and expecting people to play them together where they have almost no synergy apart from the cards in this set,
Yeah.
you need to make the level 6 much better than it is. Like if, like you said, if it was Stunner level 5 or lower, I'd say even Stunner level 6, because the amount of level 7s that are out nowadays, like Quartzmon and stuff as well, Stunner level 6 and all of your opponents level 4, 5 or lowers, or something like that. That way they have to evolve up, but like, it's
There's so many things they could change, man.
fine.
But the biggest issue is just like we said there. This is a card that should be a build around card, and it's really not strong enough to warrant building around it. So for that reason, I'm gonna call it a 1-star SR. Sadly, do not pull this. Do not pray for no Grey Knightsmon alt arts in your packs.
Yeah, I mean, if its effect was when Digivolving, I'd give it 2, but it's not, so I'm gonna agree with you and say 1.
It's like there's so many things they could have done to make this card playable if they made it when Digivolving / on play Digivolve 1, if they increased the level that it could stun, if they made it so that it's like up to 3 of your opponent's Digimon with that are level 5 or lower can't attack, that so it wasn't a blanket effect, that would have been better as well. There's so many things they could have done, man, but they've just failed in every aspect to make this card look nice. And it also costs 5 to evolve over, so like it's so gash, man. It's not even worth considering.
It is a shame. If we go down, if we come up the peak of Grey Knightsmon,
did you give it a star, Adam?
I did. I'd say I agreed with you, mate. It's a 1-star.
Yes, let's go get in the bin.
But if we peak on Grey Knightsmon and leave the dragon alone and talk about the man riding him, we'll talk about the Skull Knightmon line, since that's sort of ties into it.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
So we've got the level. So it starts off with a level 4. There's no level 3, and there's no egg baby. So we've got Skull Knightmon, which is a level 4. On play, if you don't have a Nene Amano card in play, you can play one without playing its memory cost. And on deletion, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Blue Flare or Twilight, add it to your hand. And if it isn't, it says trash the rest, which I'm assuming is a mistranslation, because otherwise it would put it in the trash. And it gives your guy reboot.
So the trash the rest part of them is intentional, because both the Blue Flare Skull Knightmon deck can return things from trash to hand, and so can the Dark Knightmon deck revolves around stuff in hand, so it definitely is like intentional that it trashes the rest.
Yeah. So this evolves over a black or a blue. It's got nice artwork, I guess.
It does.
It's good. If you don't have a Nene Amano card in play, it gets you a Nene Amano out, that's great. There is a new tamer in this set, which is a Kiriha and a Nene double tamer.
Yes.
But the card is also treated as its individual tamers, which is great. So you could cheat that out. You could cheat out the original Nene. What are we making of this card? We could talk about it in terms of...
It's
we could talk about it in terms of like the black-blue sort of combo Grey Knightsmon deck. But in terms of an actual just, Dark Knightmon deck, it's also very good.
It is. 4 to play, costs 4 to play, so you're basically playing this card for 1 if you play the old Nene off it, or playing it for 3 if you play the new Double Tamer. It also gives Reboot Inheritable, which is something that Dark Knightmon decks really like, because they can swing with their big guys for 2 checks and then reboot, and they've got a big blocker. That was one issue with the old Dark Knightmon decks. A lot of people used to run Toy Agumon as the rookie because the reboot's so important. So getting another Skull Knightmon source here with reboot's really nice. You do lose the security attack of the old Skull Knightmon, which is sad, but increases consistency in the deck, gives you more pieces, gives you more options as well, like you're talking about with toolbox and effects. And Dark Knightmon is like kind of close to playable right now, and you can do okay with it. So I think this is a pretty good card. The reason I'm going to give it a 4 is just because you can cheat out Nene, so it gives you a lot more tempo.
I was also thinking of a 4 as well.
Just because I think you have to play this in the archetype. If you cheat this with Pride Memory Boost, you're going pog crazy, man. If you've got the Nene, that is.
Yeah. Like, There's a couple more cards in this. Let's just assume we're talking about it being in a Dark Nightmon specific deck, because as we've discussed, the combo deck kind of sucks.
Yeah, that's the combo deck's like not even a deck really if you're trying to play competitively.
You've got Deadly Axemon, which is next.
Yep.
On play, trash a blue flare or Twilight, draw 2. We've seen this effect on a bunch of other cards now. I'm starting to get kind of tired of it. It's like the alternate version of being a searcher. You get to draw 2 instead. Mm-hmm. It's good, it's fine, but like, come on, give it a bit more uniqueness, like that male Birdramon. And then on deletion, same as before, reveal top card. If it's blue flare or Twilight, add it to hand, trash the rest. Inheritable, plus 1k.
All turns as well, pretty nice.
All turns. Good card again. Is it better than the old Deadly Axemon, which was a searcher? Kind of. Deadly Axemon, the searcher could net you 2 cards. Net you 2 cards.
It was really nice.
This Deadly Axemon has a bunch of other effects, and it gets you a guaranteed 2 cards. You don't get to choose what those 2 cards are, sure, but the end goal is slightly better, and there's a bit more effect to it. So, I'm giving this a 4. It's really good, in my opinion.
I'm dillying between a 4 and a 3. I don't think it's as good as the Skull Knight. The Inheritable's pretty nice, because obviously you make a bigger blocker then that's harder for them to get over. You can boost your Dark Nightmon X antibody up to like, what, 13k? So that's pretty nice for blocking stuff. Although 13k is sometimes not enough to stop everything these days. I don't know if the on-play is as good as the old one. I'm going to go with no. For that reason, I'm probably going to give this a 3. I don't think it... Okay. For me, right, if it's a 4-star, it's really boosting the archetype. For me, this is just like another option, and you can use it for if you need more names. I think you would play this. I would play this over the old one, in my opinion, because I think you play better. Both. I think you play both. I personally think the old one's better, but you can definitely, again, if we're talking about this, we said this earlier on, this to me is like the 2 of, the 1 of, because the issue with the Dark Nightmon deck as well is the level 4 lineup is so stacked, because you want to run 4 Mighty Axe mode, you want to play 3 or 4 of the old Skull Nightmon, you want to play some of this Deadly Axemon, you want to play the new Skull Nightmon. It's going to be absolutely rammed, but now they've at least got like, what, 5, 6 options to choose from at the level 4. So
yeah,
it's a good card. I just think it's strapped for position, and I'm not sure if I prefer it to the old one.
That's fair. So right, we've got Dark Meldramon. This is the closest card in the set that we can get to pack filler, in my opinion, because it's got a your turn effect of this Digimon and all Digimon with Nightmon or Knightsmon in their name can't be blocked. Great. Cool. I could play it in Lord Nightmon. Awesome. I'll give it 0.1 of a star for that. There's no inheritable. But it's not even a fucking blue flare. So it's not a Twilight.
I have no clue what they were thinking. What were they thinking here? It costs 4 to play, it's 3 to evolve over, and it's 4k. It doesn't count as a blue flare, a Twilight. It doesn't have the name Dark Knight, or it doesn't count as a Nightmon, or
it's not treated as a male Birdramon.
So it's it's also clearly meant to be Skull Nightmon plus male Birdramon, so I don't know why it can't like Digicross or something.
Like there's not even a like pack fit. This is genuinely the lowest 1-star I can give a card in this set. It is pack filler.
Definitely. Let's not even give it the time of day, man. This is a 1-star.
Yeah. We've got Dark Nightmon level 5 now. Again, this is kind of decent. Well, it's decent, but it's got a Grey Knightsmon thing, and as we've discussed, not good. On play, one of your Digimon gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, which is good. Then, if Digicrossing, D-Digivolve 1, you can Digicross it with Skull Nightmon and Deadly Axemon, turning it from an 8 play cost to a 4 play cost. On deletion, same again, but it's reveal top 2 cards of your deck this time, add a blue flare or Twilight, trash the rest. And then it's inheritable, is to do with Grey Knightsmon. When your opponent's Digimon attacks, if this Digimon is Grey Knightsmon, you may switch the target of the attack to this Digimon, so it's reverse raid basically. I have no clue why they didn't make this level 6 like related to Dark Nightmon X as well. It's specifically related to this card we've already discussed as Pish, and it's clearly weaker than the other 2
Nightmon level 5s. It's
Yeah.
the only good thing about this is it in some future where the fact it can digicross for 4 is really important. Perhaps you want to cheat out your level 4s. Then this card could see play over the very first Dark Nightmon they made, but I really don't see that in the near future.
Yeah, you've got Grey Nightmon out, cool. It dies, you get to spit out your Dark Nightmon and make itself a blocker.
Which it probably already will be.
Yeah,
It probably already will be because you've got Nene in play. So basically, it's de-digivolving 1 on something which the old Dark Nightmon with Digicross already did. And its on deletion effect is by far and away the worst Dark Nightmon on deletion effect of them all because it doesn't spit out the level 4s. The more I think about it, it's a 1-star for me. Which is sad.
I agree. Just not great.
Like, literally, if it's relating to Grey Knightsmon, it's probably a 1-star because the card is shit. And the worst I think about this is the more I think about it as well. It's so sad because the card that you're meant to build around is shit, and then all the support pieces are shit. So, what were they thinking?
Yeah.
What were they thinking? That's all I can say.
They were like, oh, fuck this Dark Nightmon, the 3 players that liked the deck. No one in Oceania plays it, unfortunately.
I fucking love Dark Nightmon.
And that's it for the Blue Flare Twilight stuff, except for the Tamer, Kiriha Aonuma and Nene Amano. This Tamer, well, this card / Tamer is also treated as Kiriha and Nene in the closed brackets, which means it can search for it. It can be searched out by either or effects. Start of your main phase, if there are two or more Digimon in play, gain a memory, so it's playing into the archetype.
It's Izzy and Joe. Which is very
Izzy and Joe.
Izzy and Joe is like sometimes a very, very broken card. Like gaining 2 memories such a strong effect, and it's not that hard to hit it.
No, it's just space. That's why people don't, I think.
Yeah, the second effect's so strong though.
Yeah. And then all turns, when you would play 1 Digimon card with Blue Flare or Twilight in its traits and Digicross requirements, by suspending this Tamer, you can place 1 card from under your Tamer. What? You may place 1 card from under your Tamers and 1 card from your trash as Digivolution cards for Digicross. So, Digicrossing from trash.
Yeah.
And, typical security effect for a Tamer plays itself. Is it good?
It's very good.
It's fine.
It's very good. And the reason why it's good is because you can... so this is mainly a Blue Flare card.
With Blazing Memory Boost.
Yes, you can cheat it out with Blazing. So it's more Kiriha hits. If you cheat this with Blazing, it's absolutely nuts. And the other thing is, because it lets you recur your sources, and I don't think Blue Flare had material save before this. He is searching rapidly. So Blue Flare does have material save. So it's good if your pieces go out of rotation as well, because then you can bring them back into rotation. If your metal grades are lost, they're not lost to time anymore. But the main reason I think it's good is just because it increases your hits with Blazing. Blazing's just an absolutely broken card, so it's really good for that. I'm going to actually give this a 4-star.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't care enough, so I'll go with 4 as well.
Yeah, I don't know if this gets played in Dark Nightmon, because Dark Nightmon cards don't have save, but it is really nice that you can cheat it out with a new Skull Knight. So yeah, it could see play in Dark Nightmon. I don't think it's anywhere near as broken in Dark Knight as it is in Blue Flare though. Cool. So that is us rounded up the Blue Flare archetypes, but are the blue archetypes... Oh no, wait, we've got one more. I was going to say we've done the archetypes, just gone to the pack stuff, but we do have the Galgamon line as well in this set, before it makes its awesome debut as a high tier deck in BT13. So if we start off with Galmon, we've got a 1k GP, 3 cost to play rookie. On play effect, both players draw 1 card from their deck. You might think this is bad, but the Galmon deck, remember, gains benefits for cards in your opponent's hand, so that matters. Also, has a very nice effect of when a inheritable. When an effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, gain a memory. This card is really nice. Gaining a memory is broken. The deck's going to do it all the time. It's very easy for it to bounce stuff or add cards to hand.
Yep.
What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I like it. Super cool. Galmon was the first Digimon that I picked in Digimon Masters Online. before I learned to love the Shine Greymon line. I rate him. I like him. He's a cool dog.
I also
4
picked him.
stars.
I also picked him in Digimon Masters. I'm going to give this card 4 stars as well. It's just a really nice rookie, plays into the archetype, super nice. And
Yes.
it's the first time I've saw draw in a mirrored aspect as well.
Indeed.
Very nice. So if we go into the level 4, we've got Galgamon, 5 cost to play, 5k DP, 2 to evolve over. When digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon to its owner's hand. And inheritable, the same as Galmon, when in effect adds a card to your opponent's hand, gain a memory. Really nice, and increases the numbers and the consistency of the deck. Being able to bounce floodgates and stuff is really powerful as well. So
And it's also also technically a 1 cost to evolve. If you bounce that opponent's level 3 to their hand, you gain a memory through the Gaomon's inheritable because you're adding a card to their hand. So technically a 1 cost in specific situations, and 1 cost level 4s that are good are a win in my books.
definitely. And the deck gains a lot of memory as well, so being able to get rid of those memory blockers is always nice. And you can just hide in the raising, you've got a powerful inheritable regardless, or you can gain that option to bounce the rookie. I'm actually going to give this card a 4 as well.
I will agree. 4 for me.
4 all day, baby. Now we've got the epic Matt Galgamon, the winner of the WWE Heavyweight Championship. He costs 7 to play, 7k DP, 3 to evolve over a level 4, and his effect is when digivolving, return one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon to the owner's hand. So it mirrors the other effect, but where it doesn't mirror it is it's inheritable. When attacking once per turn, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, unsuspend this Digimon.
You know, it's an unsuspend mechanic. Blue loves to have those. It's got a good when digivolving effect. Yeah, you're not always going to get it, but its inheritable alone is solid in this deck. Absolutely solid. After your opponent's 4th turn, they are guaranteed to have more than 8 cards in hand. And if you've been doing weird shit to them, anyway, they'll probably have it turn 2 or 3 as well if you've been bouncing them. I super like the card. I think it's great in the archetype. I'm giving this another 4.
I'm actually going to go ahead and drop my first. Oh, am I though? 5 has to be so powerful. It's not quite a 5, is it? But it's really good.
Well,
Unsuspending is so broken.
Here's a question for you.
Yeah.
Would you play this in Machine Dramon?
No, because it's too inconsistent to slip under with Chaos X.
Okie doke. I was just wondering.
There is also another, there's multiple out of colour unsuspend effects you can put into Machine Dramon. But I just think they're too inconsistent to have to drop them when Animal Man pick them up with Chaos X. Yeah, I'll give it a 4, man. Let's not bust my nut too early.
Yeah,
with the 5.
Okay.
Cool.
And then we've got Zed Garurumon, so Mac Galgamon's alternate evolution.
Yes.
If it's not going into Mirage Galgamon, it is going into Zed Garurumon. So the sort of theme with Zed Garurumon and Victory Greymon are sort of like they're kind of like War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, but they're
a bit different.
They're a bit different and they're a bit more aggressive, really. Instead of just like having some guns and shit, this thing's got a fucking laser cannon on its back, and its tail is made out of a targeting rifle. It's kind of cool.
It's a cool Digimon.
12 cost to play, 12k, 4 to evolve. When digivolving, bounce a level 4 or lower to its opponent's to their opponent hand, and then if they have 8 or more cards in their hand, bounce a level 6 or higher, which is good. All turns,
nice.
once per turn, when in effect adds a card to your opponent's hand. If you have a Tamer in play, bounce a level 3. So you digivolve into this. Let's say you've got the stack that we've just talked about. You bounce a level 5. You then continue the effect because it's all one effect and bounce a level 6 or higher. You can then trigger your Gaomon to gain a memory, your Galgamon to gain a memory. Zed Garurumon can trigger if you've got your Tamer in play to bounce a level 3. So that's 3 things you've potentially returned. And then assuming it's still your turn, it might not be because it's a 4 to digivolve and it has no when attacking effects. So this might be sitting on the field for at least 1 turn. But say you do get to attack with it, you've just put 3 extra cards in their hand, and if you're a level 6, they've got 8 or more cards in hand. You're swinging twice because you get to unsuspend with Mac Galgamon. Really good SR to complement Mirage Galgamon from the previous sets, in my opinion.
I agree. It's a pretty nice card. I don't think it's like super good or anything. I think it maybe fills a spot of a level 6 in Mirage till we get the next support next set. But personally, I don't think Galgamon's going to do anything till next set anyway. So
Yeah.
will we see this in like topping lists? Probably not. I'm going to go with a 2-star because occasionally people might take this in depending on the meta.
Oh, I'm gonna go with a 3-star. I still think it's a pretty good card, and I think we'll see it will see play,
Fair.
especially for a more control variant of Mirage.
It does bounce a shit ton, to be fair. So I'll give you
Yeah.
it. I will give you it.
And tamer, no tamer for this one.
Shall we go over the blue option cards?
But we do indeed have an option called
talk about
Full
Full
Metal
Metal,
Blaze. Costs 8, so it's a whack of memory. So you get to bounce 2 of your opponent's level 4 lures, and then if they have 8 or more cards in their hand, bounce a level 6 or higher. So again, you're getting to bounce 3 things. Yeah, it's an 8 cost now. Apart from hitting Insecurity, which activates its main effect, are you playing this? Probably not. I don't think you would, because you're not deleting things, you're giving them the cards back. You might run it as a one-off.
It's just too expensive. It's like a slightly better Cocytus Breath, and is it even a bit better Cocytus Breath? Yes, sometimes, more often than not, if you're paying this card for 8 memory, you're going to be wanting to bounce their 6. And it's conditional. It's too expensive, but it is a potentially powerful effect, so I'm going to go ahead and give it a 2. It has potential, but not likely to get played.
Yeah, I agree with a 2.
Cool. So that is the blue cards wrapped up for now. We'll leave the other stuff for the spicy Jogris deck later. And we're going to go into my favourite boys of the set, the green guys. So if you've not heard the word on the street, this set is giving green a new mechanic, which is Alliance. So Alliance is when you're attacking, you can suspend one of your other Digimon in play to add the suspended Digimon's DP to this Digimon's and gains security attack +1. The deck gains a bunch of benefits when it does this, including Kokomon, which has the inheritable. This is a level 2 egg. When an effect suspends one of your Digimon, draw 1. I think this card is freaking awesome. Now the other thing is, this I think actually takes over as the best green egg in Bloomlord, because you're going to draw 1 every time you use Digisorption. So I think this is super powerful.
Yeah, it's a pretty good egg.
Guaranteed to be the best egg in Alliance as well, because you can trigger it so easily. I'll be honest, I think this is a 4-star egg.
Yeah, 4-star egg.
Happy days.
I would agree.
Wait till you see the rest of the Alliance stuff, man. It's actually pretty nice. I hope the deck does something this set. So this is a deck between Terriermon and Lotmon. The first card we've got here is the hamburger enjoyer himself, Terriermon. Shout out to Tori Ballmon in the background and Ebby Burgermon. Oh no, wait, that's just Burgermon. That's not. Yeah. He's not Ebby. He's not pink.
It's actually important to note as well is that this deck spans 3 colours instead of just the normal 2. It's green, it's yellow, and it's black.
And it's purple.
And it's purple. Oh,
yellow,
black,
purple. Green.
They're going for it, man.
And yeah, purple. So they've got 4 different colours, and it reflects the evil and the good lines in Lotmon. And it has the alternative Terriermon lines, the black stuff. So it's pretty cool. This Terriermon card is on play, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add a 2-colour green card and 1 tamer with Henry Wong in its name to your hand, place the rest at the bottom, and the inheritable is mirrored on every level 3 in the deck. It's really strong. So when you suspend a Digimon for an Alliance skill, you may Digivolve this card into a 2-colour green Digimon in your hand by paying its Digivolution cost. When this Digimon would Digivolve with this effect, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. So this is nuts tempo. You can totally fly up the stack. Gaining 2 memory is just stupidly powerful. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I mean it's a standard sort of. It's a brand new architect getting involved, so it's a good searcher and it's got a cool inheritable.
Definitely. I think the inheritables are really what puts this deck over the edge. I don't know if it's how. Like I say, I think the deck's going to be like a tier 2, and that's pushing it. But this card itself is super powerful. I'm going to give it a 4-star.
Yeah, I'd say 4-star. Yeah.
It searches. It's got a broken inheritable. What's not to like? Now, if we go and look at, I'm going to look at Lotmon first for the sake of continuity, right? So Lotmon's pretty much the same card, free to play 1k DP. Now the only difference is when you play this card, it's going to reveal the top 4, and instead of searching Henry, it's going to search Suchol Wong in its name, and it has the exact same inheritable to reduce the cost of an evolution by 2 when you alliance. So it gives you a little bit of like blitz action as well as something to note for the alliance deck. It's pretty cool. I can only give it a 4-star as well for that reason.
Yeah, I mean, it does the exact same thing. It's a searcher, you know. It does the same thing. 4 stars, yeah.
In my opinion, like, see if the inheritable wasn't so key to the deck, I'd maybe bump these guys down to 3. But basically, these are the reason to play Alliance as a deck. And if the deck didn't have these inheritables, it would be utter garbage.
Yeah. I do like that Lopmon's artwork clearly has Terriermon playing in the background, but Terriermon's artwork is of him stuffing his face with no Lopmon in sight.
Now, people might hate me for this because this artwork is so amazing on Terriermon, but would it not be cool if it was mirrored artwork as well, where it was like Terriermon's perspective and you could see Lopmon in the tree, and then Lopmon's perspective you could see Terriermon in the tree? I think that would have been funny.
Yeah.
Cool.
That would have been cool.
So
Terriermon Assistant.
The final level 3.
So this guy's also treated as a Terriermon, and when in effect suspends this Digimon, one of your Digimon gets plus 4k for the turn. So, you know, instead of, it does the same thing inherited. You get to reduce the Digivolution cost when you suspend a Digimon for an Alliance skill, so they all have the same one, and because it's a brand new archetype, it kind of needs to, in my opinion. 3 cost to play, 0 to evolve, 1k DP. So this is quite a good card, because obviously, if you suspend it for Alliance, you're not just gaining 1k from the Alliance, you're gaining potentially 4k on top of it, if you give it to the Alliance Digimon.
It lets you hit some pretty nutty DPs. Like, the level 5s are all like 8k. So if you're going to probably, most of the time you're going to have a level 4 and one of these little 3s on board. You're going to suspend one and gain the DP and go into the 5. So he lets you hit a ceiling of 13k on your level 5 on turn 2 of the game, which is pretty crazy. He's really nice. He's called Terriermon as well. You can search him out. It's pretty great. I think all of these level 3s are a mandatory 4 of in the Alliance deck. I think you're trolling if you're not playing at least like 10 of these guys. So yeah, he's pretty nuts. I got to give him a 4 as well.
Yeah, I'll agree.
Happy days. So we're going to move on to the Black Gargamon. We'll talk about the Terriermon line first here. In fact, no. What we'll do is we'll talk about each of the 4s. Yeah, that makes sense. So Black Gargamon first is 4 cost to play. Evolves for 2 over Lopmon or Terriermon, but 3 for a green or a black Digimon. He has Alliance, so we've said that before. When you're attacking, you suspend one of your other Digimon, you gain a security attack and its DP. And he has the inheritable. When an effect suspends a Digimon in play, this Digimon gets 2k for the turn. So, pretty good. This is one of the better level 4s in the deck. Do I think it's as broken as the other ones? No, it's not as broken as the level 3s, but it's pretty freaking good. I'm going to give him a 3-star.
Yeah, 3 for me. I don't like the Black Gargamon line. I don't know why they just didn't make it regular Gargamon, but fine, I guess.
They're too up on this alternate self pattern, aren't they?
Oh, that's what it is. It's alternate being.
Yeah.
So,
he's not Gargamon. We couldn't do that.
It makes sense, yeah. I gotta give a shout out to Teruimon. Teruimon is an OG friend of mine back in set 3 when I was playing Shine Greymon over 2 years ago. God, it feels so long ago now. Teruimon was a little baby vanilla, which was a 1 cost to evolve. Super good to get into Rise and Shine early. Oh, I just got it, Rise and Shine.
Come on, man.
That's
Come
great.
on, man.
Amazing.
Absolute slowpoke.
But first of all, this new Teruimon, 4 cost, 4k, 3 to evolve over yellow or green, or 2 if it's from Lotmon or Terriermon. Notice how they say they swap it round. No, it's always Lotmon or Terriermon. I thought they swapped it around for certain things.
That would have been
He's
cool.
just got Alliance. That's all he got. But end of attack once per turn. As an inheritable, if you have another suspended Digimon in play, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k DP for the turn. So yellow, it's a yellow-green card, so it's up to its DP reducing shenanigans.
Yes.
But the reason I want to shout it out is the artwork is fucking incredible on it.
It is.
It's of him punching the sky whilst he's training alongside Gaomon, alongside... I don't have a clue what that
Opossumon.
weird-looking... Is it? It looks
Yeah.
like fucking Chopper.
Do you know
from
how
One
I know?
Piece.
It's Opossumon, because Opossumon carries a set of balloons with it, and Teruimon is doing an uppercut into the balloons and popping them, and
Yeah.
Opossumon is looking absolutely fucking devastated.
But this artwork is great. It is by Pikaru. Super cool. I like the Alliance keyword. I love this card artwork. Very nice. The balloons remind me of that old fucking cross the road thing that you used to get in primary school as well.
I thought you were talking about balloons tower defense for a minute there.
No, that's you.
I love that. I don't know if this is as good as gaining the 2k DP. It's nice to have another toolbox option. We do love this. And there are 3 level 4s in the deck, spoiler. So this will make its way in. I don't know if it's...
Well,
like
what are we
this.
rating Teruimon first?
It's a 3, man.
I'm giving it an honorary 5-star because of the artwork.
The
But
first
in terms of-
5-star! You heard
No,
it here
it's a-
first, Teruimon!
No. I'm giving it an honorary 5-star, which means it's graduated without having to do the work.
Right, okay.
But it's actually a 3-star.
Yeah, it's a good card, man. I mean, you need it for numbers at the 4, but, like, again, it's all of the inheritables are, like, debatable if it's better or worse. One thing to note is it doesn't miss the window for the inheritable like Black Gargamon does, because it's end of attack. So if you actually use the rookie inheritable to go into a level 5, then Black Gargamon's not going to get the 2k DP, but Teruimon is. So the more I think about it, Teruimon's probably better than Black Gargamon. It's a 3 all day, baby.
Yes.
So we got one more level 4 for the Alliance boys. We have Wendigomon, very cool guy. He's exactly the same, except he's green, blue. No, he's green and purple. And he's got the same Evo cost, 2 from Lotmon or Terriermon, 4 to hard play, 4k DP, and 3 to evolve over a purple or green. It has Alliance, and its inheritable is end of attack. If you have another suspended Digimon in play, you may return a green Digimon from your trash to hand. Really nice for resource recursion, because you will find with this deck you're going to run out of cards in hand, and you're going to run out of little guys to play on the bottom end. So
Yes.
in the later half of the game, Wendigomon can net you some resources back. It's pretty nice. It's an obvious 3 once again, nice and boring.
Yeah, 3.
Cool. So now we get to move on to the level 5s, where first one is Black Rapidmon. 8k DP, 8 to play. It's going to cost you 4 over a black or a green, and has the Digivolve for 3 effect from a 2-colour green Digimon if the name contains Gargomon. Or if the name contains Gargomon, sorry. So this card has the Alliance keyword, and it also has end of attack, D-Digivolve 1 on one of your opponent's Digimon. Very nice, just to control the board a bit. It also has the inheritable, your turn, when an effect suspends a Digimon in play, this Digimon gains piercing for the turn. Now the inheritable doesn't come up very much, but the end of attack is really nice. Again, I'm not sure if it's the best level 5 in the deck compared to the other 2, which in my opinion are a little bit more powerful, but I will see playing the deck just for numbers, so I'm going to give this card a 3-star.
Yeah.
It's a very, so far the deck hasn't done anything absolutely cracked, right, apart from the level 3s. That is probably one of the weaknesses of the deck. There's nothing super cancel that it can do.
I'm giving this a 2-star because I think it's good, but I think, and you're going to be playing 4 Antilamon, which is the green-yellow, and more Antilamon, which is the purple-green,
I agree.
over Gargomon,
This
Black
is the...
Rapidmon, sorry. So I'm giving this a 2-star.
Exactly. I agree exactly with what Adam's saying. I was considering 2-star in it myself, just because he is the third best option, really. and the Antilamon Adam is talking about
is pretty good.
Yes.
Alliance keyword again, 8 cost to play, 8 KDP, 4 to evolve, or 3 from a level 4 2-color green. Alliance keyword, but end of attack. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, recover +1. And end of attack, inheritable. Same again for the yellow one, -2k DP something. So like, this is great. You can digivolve, you can swing with Alliance and digivolve your Teruimon into your Antilamon. Antilamon's end of attack triggers, gaining you +1 recovery, and then it will also trigger Teruimon's end of attack, minusing something by 2k. It's a really good card. It's also got 8k, which matters. Everything I think all of them do, to be fair.
Yeah.
But
and they get boosted.
This is a 4 of. Recovery's always great. Recovery in a non-yellow specific deck is also always great. Highly rate this card. I think this is a 4 personally.
Fairsies. I'm gonna give it a 3. My reasoning behind that is I think I run this at 2 of in my Alliance deck. The reason why is because the end of attack to recover is really nice, but if you see it in the early game, odds are you're not going to be recovering off it. I really don't know why they put if you have 3 or fewer security cards in recover 1, because it should probably just be you recover 1 end of attack. The deck's not that broken, and it doesn't really have any ways to go up the stack. You're probably going to get 2 stacks tops in this deck. It would have gave it a bit more sticking power. I think the card could have been better personally. The Inheritable is better than the Pearson though, so I'm happy to give him a 3 on the big rabbit guy.
Yes.
The final level 5 we've got for the deck is Evil Antilamon. It's looking edgy. It looks like Symbiote Spider-Man sitting on a top of a dark rooftop. Exactly the same stats. Evolves for 3 over a 2-colour green Digimon level 4. Has a lines, but the end of attack effect this time is you may play 1 green level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. So that's really nice.
Yep, spreading out, guys.
Definitely. Again, it's a bit hard because you're not going to be able to fuel the trash in the early game so much unless you've got the tamer, we'll talk about later. But the end of attack inheritable is really good as well. If you have another suspended Digimon in play, return 1 green Digimon from your trash to your hand. So it's just good for resource recursion. Wendigo Mon's good for that as well. It gives you a lot of options in the deck, and if you do get that end of attack effect, it's definitely the best level 5 the deck has to offer. So I'm going to go ahead and give it a 3. Sadly, the deck doesn't have many ways to get cards in trash, so it is hard that it's not trash or hand, which makes me a little sad. Again, it just looks like they could have made these cards a little bit better if they really wanted to push the Alliance deck, but I think that a lot with Digimon cards.
Yeah. I'd give it a 3 as well. I agree with that. I think it's better than Black Gargamon, Black Rapidmon, sorry. But I think it's slightly worse than Antilamon, but that's just a he said, she said opinion, to be fair. You can take it or leave it.
It's pretty much just down to personal preference.
Yeah.
Both effects, sadly, you're kind of like, if I do this, because you can end turn 2 on a level 5 most turns with this deck. So it's like, it's just sad that 2 out of 3 of the level 5s you're probably not going to get the end of attack effect off. But, you know, Alliance would have been broken if you could do that consistently, right?
Yeah.
Right? So, level 5's wrapped up. While we're here,
6s.
we're going to talk about the very evil Cherubimon. He looks very epic. He's descended from that rooftop he was on. He's ready to cause havoc. So he's a 12k, 12 to play, level 6. Falls for over a 5 green or purple for a cost of 4. And he's going to digivolve for 3 from a level 5 2-colour green Digimon, so you can evolve over either of them. He has Alliance himself, and his when digivolving effect is super strong. Until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon and one of your other level 5 or lower Digimon gain on deletion. Play this card from trash without paying its memory cost.
Yeah, it's alright. You can't guarantee.
I mean,
its effect sort of works against itself, though. Yes, I get it's till the end of your opponent's turn, but if you're attacking with Alliance, you're probably not going to be dying.
Probably not. But what if? There's another reason this is really broken, right? So, yeah, it makes you really sticky. So, if you end your turn and this card's out, your opponent can't out it unless they bounce it. So this just sits on board, threatens to alliance again the following turn, and you're going to protect one of your little guys that's suspended on the board as well, so it gives you a lot of board presence. The other reason this is good, now we'll talk about this card later, is because this deck works really well with Shine Greymon Ruin mode or Quartzmon. Because if you get into Shine Greymon Ruin mode after you go into Cherubimon, they can't out it and you're guaranteed to get the end of attack effect off. Or if it's a Quartzmon, they have to waste a turn because they can't out it the following turn either. So this card to me is very powerful. I'm going to give it a 4 because it does push the archetype.
Yeah, okay. I'll accept that. I don't know too much about this is a lot of me agreeing with you, but that's because I don't necessarily know too much about the archetype, and I think your opinion's more valid on it.
That's understandable, man. I've done a bit of testing with it. I love the Terrier Man. And yeah, literally it's the only purchase I've made from this set is I day one bought this deck and got it shipped to me. Very cheap, £15 for all the commons and rares relating to the cards. So, do you want to talk about the good one?
Yeah, we've got the good Cherubimon. So, Digivolves 3 from a 2-color green. 12k, 12 play cost, 4/4 to evolve. Otherwise, got Alliance. When Digivolving and when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets neg 3k for the turn for each suspended Digimon you have in play. So if you're attacking with Alliance, you're suspending something, that's negative 3k, and then you're also including yourself as well. Well, not yourself, but the Cherubimon that's been suspended. So you're negging something by 6k, and if you have something else out that's already suspended, that's 9k. That's a really good board clear for anything under a level 6, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But it also makes, it makes a 6 cost that's a level 6 that's suspended much easier to attack. And again, this artwork is by Pikaru. And I forgot to mention it on Antilamon as well, but it's great artwork. It's Cherubimon flying alongside Angelwimon and Pegasusmon. I really dig the artwork. He's got kind of like a massive, his hands outstretched going, "Take me instead," sort of sacrifice moment. I'm a big fan of it. I like this card.
Adam, see that Digimon in the background with the wings?
Yeah.
That's like a horse. What do you call it?
That's Pegasusmon.
What was it called if you swap the P for an M?
Megasusmon. Oh! I fucking hate you.
Judge question as well, Adam, that I think I know the answer to. Right, I've got a level 5 stack. I'm going to swing, I'm going to alliance something, and I'm going to use the level 3 inheritable to evolve into Cherubimon. My when Digivolve in effect will proc to minus 6k, or minus 3k twice more accurately. I miss timing on when attacking for the minus 3k, right, because I've warped in. Very sad. Correct. Very sad that the ruling has cut this card from being truly goated, but it is really good. Is another option in the level 6 bracket. Another thing that's spicy about this, shout out Huang Zero for giving me this idea. You can play Calumon in this deck.
Yeah, you could, yeah.
So you can play Calumon for 1 because you run at least 6 or 8 Terriermon in this deck. You play Calumon down for 1, you evolve, and you gain your memory back. Then when you get to your Cherubimon, you're going to have another suspended guy on the board, so you go minus 9k, and then you can go minus 2k for Cherubimon, and minus 2k for Antilamon. What's the maths? That's minus 13k split. That's pretty freaking good to me.
It's pretty pog. It is.
It is very nice card. I'm going to go ahead and give your boy Cherubimon a 4-star.
Yeah, I'll give it a 4 as well. I like Cherubimon.
Another very nice card.
I'm not a big Terriermon supporter.
Ooh.
But I love Cherubimon. I like Antilamon and Cherubimon's. Well, I like nice Cherubimon. The Cherubimon that would hold my hand and tuck me into bed. Not the Cherubimon that would shit on my face and then kick me down the stairs.
He's
good Cherubimon only.
Evil indeed. Cherubimon is awful, man. He juggles children.
And then we've got Black Mega Gargamon, whose design looks sus. Looks a bit 1940s Germany to me, in my opinion.
This
but
fucking card, this sus period, bro.
That's fucking.
It sucks.
That's a bit weird.
balls.
Oh, it's by Nakano as well. The artwork, I like Nakano. Oh, Nakano, what you doing to me, man? You want to talk about it?
Yes, so this card is 13. This does right. So firstly, I'll just say this doesn't really follow the themes of the Alliance deck that well. I'm not really sure what the hell they were thinking here because it's also not that good for the existing Terriermon support either. So it's 13k DP, 13 to drop hard from your hand, 5 to evolve over a black or green level 5, but costs 4 from a level 5 2-colour green Digimon, or if it contains Rapidmon in its name, right? So it's a bit more expensive, it's a high DP, let's hope it's got a good effect. End of your turn, once per turn, 2 of your green or black Digimon in play gain blocker and reboot until the end of your opponent's turn. When another Digimon in play becomes suspended, you may unsuspend this Digimon.
All turns, once per turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no Alliance, but it doesn't... It's 13k DP, I don't think it really needs Alliance. Well, the security attack would be nice. But again, I mean, yeah, it doesn't follow the theming. The card artwork is, yeah, a bit weird. You can really see it. But let's not focus on that.
It's just black and red, man. It's not that bad. It's just black and red.
Look at his crotch. Looks a bit weird.
Yeah,
anyway,
that's just
also his rockets have faces, teddy bear faces on them.
I love that though. I love that.
I mean, it's fine. I like the card. It's the SR for some reason, but its effect is a bit.
It's just it's definitely the worst of the three. I wouldn't even include it in the Alliance deck. I mean, you could make an argument. Oh, it's toolboxy because it lets you turn him and your other guy into a reboot blocker. So, like, basically the intention is you evolve for 4 and then your Alliance target and itself become blocker with reboot. I don't know if that's even good. Is a 13k blocker's not doing anything in the current meta. Everything is going to out it or swing over it or stun it or bounce it, and your other guy being a blocker is not good either because he's probably gonna die. So I don't think it's good, man. I think this card is like, I want to give it a 1. The all turns effect when another Digimon is suspended, unsuspend them could come up. It just gives you like an extra. I don't think it often comes up for a double block because your opponent's going to be intelligent about it and swing in the right order. Like, in what scenario do you get the full value on this where you block and then it lives and then they swing again and then you block with the other guy and then he unsuspends and then they swing again and you block a third time and it doesn't die? I don't think it comes up. Card's pretty cheeks. I'm going to give it a 2. It's not absolute ass. Could be playable in the future, but right now, stay clear. Yeah,
I'd give it a 2 as well.
Cool.
So moving on to their tamer, we've got Henry Wong and Shuchong Wong. Shout out to whatever YouTuber I watched open an EX04 box who gave up on the name and went, we've got Henry Wong and Wu-Tang Clan. That was real fun to watch. Nothing like a little bit of casual racism in your fucking YouTube videos, man.
Although it's weird that they didn't translate Henry's name into his original name because they both. Henry also has, and I actually had to look this up because I didn't understand why they didn't do it. I was like, why have they not gave Henry's traditional Chinese name as well? Because they're both clearly like two very very Chinese people. Their parents are both Chinese. So it's strange that they didn't translate Henry's. I guess Henry's a more iconic character, so they didn't want to screw with it. It's a bit strange. Also, his name is a real mouthful, I think, in the original Japanese version, so maybe they did it for brevity.
That makes sense.
But
so start of your main phase. If you have 1 or less Digimon in play, you can play a Terriermon or Lopmon from your hand without paying its cost. This Digimon that's been played by this effect cannot be digivolved, and at the end of your opponent's turn it gets deleted. And then your turn, it's got the standard sort of green reduced Digivolution effect. When one of your Digimon that has Terriermon or Lopmon in its Digivolution cards would digivolve, by suspending this tamer, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1, and then standard tamer security play it. So secondary effect, if you combo it with the reductions of the Terriermon and Lopmon and Assistant, you're potentially going into something for 0 cost, which is really good. It's a good tamer. You get to play out a Terriermon or a Lopmon, which gives you an alliance target. And because Terriermon Assistant counts as a Terriermon, you can play that out as well, which gives you a big buff to your DP if you're attacking. It's a really good tamer. It definitely makes the alliance set work a lot better. And then you can, of course, you can play the old Henry or the old Susie or Shu Chong Wong. That lets you play out Terriermons and Lopmons and stuff anyway. Really good tamer, really good card in my opinion. I'd give this a 4.
Yeah, I think the card's really good as well. It's a really interesting effect. We've never seen this before. The main phase effect, that is. There's a couple of things that let it down slightly. It's like I'm tempted to give it a 4, but there's a couple of things that let it down, right? Number one would be it's 4 to play, right? Obviously, this effect is really powerful for a 3, so I'm not necessarily saying you should do that, but if you do play this for 4, it's going to be a really slow opener. It does give you a lot of power on the following turns by letting you cheat out an alliance target. But the other thing is, you don't really get much of a benefit from having multiple of these out on the field. Now, you're never going to want to play 2 of them, which makes it awkward to play 4, because if you see more than one in your hand, it's like a dead card, pretty much. And
it's good for the reduction Digivolution, I suppose.
It is something, but for 4, you're like, fucking can I play this, man? You probably lose the game if you spend 8 memory on 2 of these, most of the time. So there's a couple of wee things that let it down. It also can't be cheated out by any effect. It basically also gives you 1 memory a turn, and it's a pretty stacked card. But because there's no way to cheat it out, you can't really duplicate it, which disincentivizes you from running 2 of it. I'm going to have to give it a 3, although it is a tentative 3. I'd like to give this a 4.
Oh, that's fair enough. And then we've got not 1, but 2 options for this deck. So we've got a 7 cost yellow, Heaven's Judgment, or Heaven's Judgment if you don't have English blood in you. When you control a Grain Digimon or Tamer, you may use this card without meeting its colour requirements. Activate the effect below. Then for each colour amongst the Digimon you have in play, activate it again. And it's one of your Digimon gets negative 6k for the turn. Because all of your cards are 2 colour cards, you're essentially giving something negative 12k. And that's reflected in its security, which is one of your opponent's Digimon gets negative 12k DP for the turn. But potentially if you've got multiple guys out, so like if you've got a Wendigomon out, green purple, and then you've also got Teruimon out yellow, you're getting negative 18k. This is a really good card. It is a 7 cost, so you're gonna probably be ending your turn, but because you're getting negative 12k, or more accurately negative 6k 2 times, which can kill multiple things, it's pretty good. And it's potentially negative 18k, which we've never seen before.
Yeah.
It's not a likely potential, but it is a potential. So in terms of options, we've talked. Obviously, it's a lot, but I would put this at a 3 personally.
I think I can totally understand why you're calling this a 3-star, Adam. I'm going to go with 2, right? And the reason why is because basically, if it's hard to high roll this card, right? You need 3 cards out. Right now, looking at it, if it's a minus 12k, it's pretty much a worse Wyvern's Breath, a worse Lonky added Starco. To me, the 1 cost in the memory, it's a 7 cost instead of an 8, doesn't really matter that much. But it does have a nice high roll potential. And like I say, you can put Calamon in the deck, so you can have white, green, and a 3rd colour reasonably easy. I think you take this in if Machine Dramon's running about, because the EX01 Machine Dramon's the only one that's immune to it. And it's an okay bombing security. Minus 12k is a little bit lower than I'd like to see for a security bomb. It's not always even going to kill their boss with DP boosts. So there's a couple of things that limit it from being an auto-include in the deck for me, but it does have some potential. And if you're in certain metas, you might want to take this in. It's also good that you can split the DP, so I'm going to give this a 2-star.
That's fair. And then we've got our Tarnished Heroes, which is a purple 3-cost option. And again, if you've got a green Digimon or Tamer, you can play it without meeting the colour requirements. It is one of the delay cards, so it sits in your battle area. You can activate its main effect from your hand and delete you can delete a level 3 Digimon, and then it gets placed in your battle area. Excuse me. And then it's got a delay. Your opponent may trash one option card from their hand. If they don't, gain 2 memory. And then security effect is place this card in your owner's battle area. Not play, so you don't get the main effect, just place. So you will get the delay. And this might not be a 3 for me, but it's cool.
It's a very cool card. I really like the design. Do you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Code cracking.
Yes.
It's
giving your opponent an option.
Exactly, and it's also got Cherubimon on it, so it's a really cool card. Do I think it's good? No.
It's got Cherubimon. What the fuck is the other Digimon that's on it?
I think that's like Ghoulmon or something. If you can't see him when you're on the podcast instead of watching the YouTube right now, it's the big ass guy who's got one yellow eye. He's actually a level 6 and he's in BT14.
Yeah, I think it's Deathmon.
Deathmon. We were actually talking about him the other day in our Glasgow Digimon chat. It is Deathmon, yeah, because he has had multiple designs, I think. But it's an interesting card nonetheless. I think if you're paying, how much memory do you think you should be paying to pop a level 3 Adam? What would you consider running if it was an option card? How much memory would it have to cost you to pop if it just said pop a level 3?
I'd say 2 or 3.
I would say I'd pay 2 memory for this effect, and only in a meta where there's like lots of 3s going around. It's not often that you need to pop 3s. I don't think the deck struggles with popping 3s either, with all the DP reduction. And the potential upside of this card is not big enough to warrant playing it, really. Even if they trash an option card in their hand, an X-Antibody or a memory boost or something, which isn't too uncommon, then you don't get the second effect, and the main effect is not... It's not wide enough in spectrum to warrant a deck slot. I'm tempted to give it a 1. I'm really tempted to give it a 1. In fact, I'm just going to give this a 1. I don't think this ever sees play in the future.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a 2 because I think it's got a cool effect. I like the effect. It's very unique, which is what I like in Digimon cards as well.
I'd
give it a 2.
I think it's, like I say, it is a very cool card. I agree, very interesting flavour. It's just sad that it's not as strong as it could be. I would like to see one of these choice cards get some strength behind it, because I like things like that. I like a painful choice.
Yeah, that's cool.
We do actually have one more option that's worth talking about right now. You probably won't play it in this deck, and I don't know if you're going to play it in any other deck, because it has crossover with both Terriermon and Renamon. So it might have been worth bringing up later, but I'm going to do it right now. It's a 3-cost white option card, Digital Translator. The card is also treated as having plug-in in its name. While you have a tamer in play, you may play this card without meeting the colour requirements, so it's basically a plug-in all intents and purposes. The main effect is choose one of your level 6 Digimon in play. You may digivolve that chosen Digimon into a level 6 Digimon card with a different name, and that has the chosen Digimon's name in its name from your hand. So that's a fucking mouthful, but basically, if you can digivolve this or mode change this your level 6 Digimon into another Digimon in hand that has the same name contained within its name.
Like War Greymon into Black War Greymon, but not the other way around.
Exactly. So that actually is interesting. That's probably something I didn't think about with this card. It's quite expensive, and you better hope you're going to get some good when digivolving effects for that. But it could even see play in War Greymon or Black War Greymon. That's interesting. Yeah. Could be cool in Raid War. Security effect is return one Digimon card from your trash to your hand and then add this card to your hand. So that's a nice bit of recursion. Pretty much lets you get the effect off. It's kind of designed for Sakuyamon decks, but it's just a really interesting card. I really like it. I don't think it's that great. Having to pay 3 memory for this effect in other decks is not that powerful right now, but could be down the line if we get a level 6 that slots in and has a really powerful when digivolving. For that reason, I'm going to get a 2-star.
Yeah, I would say that as well.
2-star cards, guys, could turn into a 3 or even a 4 down the line, depending on support we see coming up for the cards in future.
Indeed. So we've done this in a really weird order and my brain's not liking it. We're moving on to the purple Pinamon. So this is the new Ravemon support and new Ravemon line. We've not really seen it before. We're seeing a new tamer, which is Keenan, which we'll talk about. So Piramon's your level 2 egg. It's basically a little owl face with legs sometimes and some wings. On deletion, if this Digimon was deleted other than by battle, gain a memory.
It's really cool.
I don't think it's that good. Yeah, we've not seen a gain a memory on a purple card before, but it's got a specific condition. Yeah, Ravemon, it fulfills that condition. But I still think Demi Mera's better. Draw one, trash one for an on deletion. You just love seeing more card draw in purple. Gets you more stuff.
Demi Mera's too goated with the sauce. This is an interesting card though. Lets you force them to pass turn and stuff.
Drawn by Spare Ribs.
I know, we love Spare Ribs. One of the greatest artists to ever do it. It's an awesome artwork. For me, it's a 2-star. Has potential down the line. Not all that right now.
I agree. 2-star from me too.
Happy days.
Moving into purple. So we are in purple. Now, we do have a slightly off purple card, which we'll talk about after this as well. But they've tried to make this as inclusive of a line as possible, but it's the first sort of stuff in its line. You're going to need to play other things. We're going to get more support for it down the line, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But as a deck in general right now, it is lacking a little bit.
It's the classic Bandai moment of releasing half a deck with a support.
So we've got Falcomon, 3 to play, 1 KDP, 0 to Digivolve over level 2. It's your classic Groovy Owl. On play, top 3 cards to your deck. Add a Ravemon or... add 1 purple Digimon card with Ravemon in its name or Bird or Avian in one of its traits. And 1 Keenan Crier. Bottom deck the rest. And it's inheritable on deletion. If this card was deleted other than by battle, your opponent trashes 1 card from their hand. So, there's not much. I don't think there's a lot to talk about with this deck because it is the start of a cool deck, but it's not great just now. But it is still a good card, so I'd give this a 3-star.
Yeah, it's a 3 or a 4 for me. I feel like these searchers and the inheritable's really nice as well. Did you say about the inheritable actually, Adam?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my brain is
giga from their hand.
Yeah, so it's a pretty nice effect. It also helps enable your Ravemon, which cares about hand size. And trashing cards in hand could be powerful. I'm going to get a 4 just because the inheritable is really unique. I think these searcher cards are like pretty much guaranteed to be a 3 or a 4.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I gave it a 3 because it's not... I mean, it's you have to play it because there's not really another option for you just yet.
I tell you what, right? I'm going to get a 3, and I'm going to say that the difference between a 3 and a 4 is a 4 is something that sees play in a high-tier deck.
Yeah, that's fair.
Cool.
We also have Fake Agumon Expert, ? Opponent's turn, once per turn, when your opponent's Digimon is deleted by trashing 1 Digimon card with the same level as that Digimon from your hand, draw 2. So, I guess you play it in Falcomon a little bit.
No, it's so bad, bro.
It's bad. It's not
stinking.
Good. It's
opponent's
better than
turn.
Fucking Dark Maildramon, but yeah, no.
It's like...
Why do they keep printing this?
Why is it opponent's turn? Opponent's turn, when an opponent's Digimon is deleted, trash a card of the same level, draw 2. So it's a very specific draw 2 cards, and you can't do it on your turn, which is when you really want to be drawing the cards. So it's like, fuck off, basically.
Yeah.
1 star. Good. Goodbye.
1 star.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah. And then we've got Groovy Owl digivolving into Groovy Chocobo. From Final Fantasy. Pigmon, level 4, 2. It is an ostrich, yeah, but it's also 100% a Chocobo.
Yeah.
5 to play, 5 KDP, 2 to evolve. When digivolving, if you don't have a Keenan Crier tamer in play it.
Good.
Standard level 4, good. Same inheritable. Trash 1 card from their hand if it was deleted other than by battle. Good card.
Very good. Very good.
3 stars.
Yeah, 3 stars. If I thought the Keenan Crier deck was better, it would be an easy 4. Being able to cheat the tamer is Paul crazy.
Chromon, level 5. We're speeding through this deck, but there's not a lot to talk about with it because it's not quite there yet. Chromon, level 5. Groovy Chocobo Ostrich digivolves into Giant Metal Vulture with bells on. 7 cost to play, 7 KDP. What?
Is Yata Garasu looking at us out here?
Yeah, he's got bell nips, pretty much. Uh,
His
3
bell nips
to
bring all the
digivolve
boys
over a
together.
level 4. When attacking, if you have a purple tamer in play, you may digivolve this Digimon into a Ravemon in your hand for paying its Digivolution cost, which is good because Ravemon has no when digivolving effects. It's all on deletion and end of attack, which is great.
Yes.
You can basically start swinging with a level 6 when you're level 5. Super good. Deletion, on deletion. If this card was deleted other than by battle, delete one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon. So they decided that you're already trashing 2 cards from their hand. Let's not do it again, so you're getting to delete something instead. But level 5 or lower is pretty good. Again,
Yes.
another 3-star for me.
Very nice. It's basically Blitz for the deck. I get a cheeky 3 as well.
Indeed. And then we've got the SR of the deck. Groovy Owl which evolved into Disco Ostrich, which evolved into Bell Vulture, has digivolved into Sexy Batman. Pretty much.
What have you just said there, Adam?
It's like Captain Falcon and Batman had a child, but the child was also a bird, kind of thing. It's got a cool katana, vulture wings, like an F-Zero type sort of sight. Power Ranger helmet type thing. He looks cool. Artist is spare ribs again. Looks great. This is an SR. 11 play cost, 11k DP. It's got jamming, and because you're going to be digivolving by swinging with Chromon, it's got an end of attack skill, which is by deleting this Digimon that has a Digivolution card with Bird or Avian in its traits. Play 1 Ravemon from your trash at the end of your opponent's turn without paying its memory cost. And on deletion, if your opponent has 8 or more cards in their hand, they must trash 1 card in their hand. Or if they have 7 or less cards in their hand, they add the top card of their security to their hand, a la One Piece. Great, cool, great card. Really like it.
Yes.
You attack and you go, fuck you, opponent. You're not getting to kill me. I'm going to kill me. And it will kill itself. And then at the end of your opponent's turn, it will kill itself, and then they're either trashing a card or adding a card from their life to their hand, their security to their hand, sorry. And then it comes back and does it again. It can't do it the same thing because it won't have Bird or Avian in its traits, but it will be a jamming level 6 that's hard to get rid of when it comes back. This is the SR of the set. It's got a good effect. I'm giving this a 4. It has to be played, obviously.
Yeah. I'm giving it a 4 as well. It's like the centerpiece of the deck is a very cool mechanic. It's like disruption like we've never seen in the game. And I also think the theming's super cool. Like he disappears, he's got after images, he comes back. And the fact that he comes back without sources and can't do the effect again is not that big a deal
It's
because
balanced.
we get
It's
boss
quite
mode.
balanced.
We get boss mode next set, so he comes back and then you boss mode off on the following turn. So really good card, really nice.
Yeah. And then we've got the Tamer. We've got little Keenan Crier, little wolf boy person from the anime. Memory setter, 4 cost to play. Security card, security effect as always. Play it from security. And his main effect, all turns, is when your purple Digimon with Ravemon in its name or with Bird or Avian in one of its traits is deleted by suspending this Tamer, draw 1, and if that Digimon is deleted by an effect, gain a memory. So, I mean, it's a staple 4 of in the deck, obviously, which makes it a 4-star in my opinion, and it's got a decent effect as well for all turns.
Yeah, having a memory setter that can also gain you a memory is really nice.
Yep.
So you can even potentially keep turn with it, which is super good. You can cheat him out as well, and he enables the boss mode next set, so we're going to give him a 4.
And then we've got our option card, Ame no Ohabari. 4 cost to play, purple option, main. By deleting one of your Digimon in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a level less than or equal to the deleted Digimon's level. But if you delete a Digimon with Ravemon in its name, then play 1 Ravemon from your trash at the end of your opponent's turn without paying its memory cost. So if you've not killed yourself via your end of attack option, because it is a by deleting this Digimon, so it is an optional effect, you could then play the option to kill something else and then get the Ravemon back anyway. It's a good option, and it's priced, it's put fairly reasonably at a 4 cost, so I would play this in the deck.
Yeah.
Its security effect is delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level, a la that black option for Musketeers, I believe.
Also, like, freaking, what's that purple card that does that in Beelzemon?
I can't remember.
I also can't remember. Oh, it's the X antibody level 6 card. What's it called? I can't remember. But yeah, it's cool. Like Adam says, it's pretty cheap for what it does. Basically, just getting to pop something for 4 is nice. Obviously, it does dip your consistency a bit because you need to have Ravemon on the board for it to be good. It's a pretty good card. I wouldn't be running a lot of it though. I'd maybe run 1 or 2.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna give him a cheeky 2-star. Optional include in the deck could be good.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3. I think it's a good include in the deck, but probably not definitely not outside of the deck though. I'd give it a 3.
Most definitely.
So we're past the halfway point now. We're done with our eggs. Only 4 eggs in the deck.
We're fleeing.
So we're gonna round up with the rest of the set.
Cool.
I want to talk about Shine, but I've already talked for quite a bit.
You missed somebody as well, mate. That actually works as well, because you've missed Sunomon, the black egg. Right,
I have missed Sunomon, but I think we should talk about the Jogress guys at the end.
Well, because they're the main big guys of the set.
Yeah, main big guys.
I'll
we'll
tell
talk
you
about
what.
the Sunomon line at the end.
Tell you what, to give your mouth a rest, Adam, I'll talk about the Guilmon support we're getting in the set.
Go for it.
Cool. So we're getting probably the best bit of Guilmon support. This is kind of aimed at being Chaos Gallantmon support, but we'll get into that shortly. So we get a new Guilmon. He's 2k DP. He costs 1 to evolve over a level 2 red or purple, but I've also 0 over Gigimon. On play, if both players' trash contains 20 or more cards total, this Digimon gains Rush for the turn. So 20 cards is actually a shit ton, really, isn't it? Like, you're unless you're running a trash-centric Guilmon package, you're probably not going to get to that count until like turn 3, 4 at the game in earliest.
I mean, when you compare it to things like Bushiagumon, which was a 5 cost to play for level 3 with Rush, yeah, this has a condition, but as a game-ending card, it's pretty good.
It is pretty good, and it is probably an include in the Guilmon deck now. But the main reason why is because this synergizes so well with the Takato that lets you warp into a Gallantmon, because it's really critical that this gains Rush for the turn. So you can play this Guilmon out for 3, because the Takato gives you 3, and you can warp into the Gallantmon stack with the Takato effect by placing them from trash underneath them. And you can go into your Gallantmon, gain your memory back, delete some things on board, trash some security. It's pretty good. For that reason, I think he's a 3-star to me. Yeah,
I would agree with that.
Pretty nice card.
He's self-reflecting in a puddle going, why am I such a doofus in the anime?
Why am I so freaking sweet in the best Digimon anime? That's what he said. Highly bait-worthy statement towards Adam there. Not to most people, but to Adam. Moving on, we've got the level 4, right? We'll get Black Growlmon. He looks very cool. It's a Koki artwork for all the Koki art enjoyers out there. It costs 5 to... It costs 5 to play, 5k DP. He evolves for 3 over a purple or red level 3, and he digivolves for 2 if your name contains Guilmon. His effect is, when digivolving, both players will trash the top 2 cards of the deck. Then you can return a Guilmon or a Growlmon or a Gallantmon from your trash to your hand. Inheritable, on deletion, you may turn one Guilmon or Growlmon or Gallantmon from your trash to your hand, and it's with them in its name, not the specific card, so that helps a little bit. Card's a bit gash. Recurring these resources on a level 4 I don't think is really that important. I think the only time you actually run this is if you're some sort of turbo strategy for Gallantmon comes out where you're trying to turbo people's trash. I don't think it's anywhere near as powerful as the other Growlmon that we have available to us right now. I'm going to give it a 2. Has potential upsides, but not likely to see play.
Yeah, I'd say the same. 2 from me.
Cool. Moving swiftly on to Blackmore Growlmon. A card I wish was way better than it is. This card has got 8k DP, 8 to play, 3 to evolve over a red or a purple, and it evolves for 3 over a level 4 with Grillmon in name. When Digivolving, both players trash the top 3 cards of their deck, then they choose any number of their opponent's Digimon whose total adds up to 3k or less and deletes them. For every 10 cards in both players' trash combined, add 2k to the maximum DP you can choose with this effect. So, you're probably, on average, especially in the trash-centric build, which I'm kind of pulling out of thin air, I don't think it's really a thing, you're probably going to end up popping, like 5k off the board. Really not that good, especially when you consider how easy it is for Gallantmon to pop low DP Digimon already. You've got the fantastic new War Grillmon from the last set, BT12, which is incredible, has a really powerful inheritable. You've got the X-Antibody Grillmon, which also has a really powerful effect and is going to gain you memory while it does it as well. I think this card is pretty much hot garbage. I'll give it a 1.
Yeah, I really like the artwork by Tomotake Kinoshita. It goes really hard.
Yeah.
But
it's just sad.
Yeah, it's a bit mid.
Very sad. Your man gets a 1 from me. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, I'll go with you. 1 from me.
Happy days. The level 6, the fantastic new support for Chaos Gallantmon people have been waiting for since BT5?
Yeah, BT5.
This card is...
He comes back.
He's back, but will he be back in the meta? Or will he be even as fringe playable as he was in that set? In the tier 2 realm that he was sitting in before? Let's see. So he's 12k DP, 12 to play, and he costs 4 to evolve over a level 5 red or purple, but evolves for 3 over War Grillmon, which is nice. He has a really interesting trash effect, right? So end of your turn, by deleting one of your other Digimon with Gallantmon in its name with a Digivolution card, you can play this card without paying its memory cost. So it doesn't have a when Digivolving effect. This is basically like a nice hat trick the deck can do. And its on-play effect, when you use that effect, is going to be delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 7k DP or less. For every 10 cards in both players' trash, combined, add 2k DP to the maximum DP you can choose with this effect. So, this card is pretty cash, I think. Like, it's just sad.
It's nice.
It's just like it's like a free option card, right? Like
it shits on Beelzemon decks specifically. A really good counter. Like, I like the artwork. You can see Kuzahamon and Black Mega Gargamon as silhouettes in it.
Yes.
And the artwork's like kind of almost 3D sort of early anime 3D type, which is kind of nice. It's a shame it's just a rare, but that's because there's a better SR coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fine. I'd say this is a 2, maybe a 3-star at best, a low 3 or a high 2.
I'm gonna give this like a low 2, man. Like it's only useful once you've already went up the stack one time. So you're like, if you want to build a Chaos Gallantmon deck, this is basically just like pop 11k, pop like an 11k off the board. So
yeah.
You can't even spread the effect, which is really annoying, which is the thing Gallantmon can already do. I don't think you put this in Gallantmon. I think if you're playing some sort of rogue Chaos Gallant deck, you could maybe put it in, but it's not really that good. Well,
I think you play it with... What, you play it with the Megidramon, I think, maybe, or...
Yes, see, that's actually pretty good, because you can pop your Megidramon and get the undulation effects, and then play a Guilmon, so that's actually a cool interaction I didn't think of. I'm going to give him 2, because he has a little bit of potential, but it's probably not going to be good. It's like a low 2 for me.
Yeah. But then we've got the cool guy, Medieval Gallantmon. I didn't even know this Digimon was a guy until they revealed him, but I fucking love him.
He is cool. Is his card cool, Adam?
Well, let's talk about that. So 13 play cost, 12k DP, 4 to evolve over a red or a green. It is a red or green card. Security, play this card without battling and without paying its memory cost. And then at the end of that turn, it bounces back to its owner's hand. And then it's got on play, when attacking, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less. But if no Digimon was deleted by this effect, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon, and that Digimon can't unsuspend during your opponent's next unsuspend phase. So you hit it in security, it pops out, it kills the guy that's low checking, but if it's a big guy, it will make sure it doesn't unsuspend. I kinda like it, I'm not gonna lie.
I think it's absolute chungus, mate, to be honest.
Absolute chungus.
And I'm not talking about the new phrase chungus where people are like, oh, he's a big chungus. I'm talking about the OG Jim Sterling chungus, a chunky anus. This thing is ass.
I like it. I think it's cool.
It is cool,
man.
But it could have been good.
Big shout out to my friend Paul, Terrorist. He's a great guy. Plays at locals. See him all the time. He loves his Galopmon. He's gonna love this card. He's the only person playing Galopmon. You go, Paul. You enjoy your Galopmon. I'm in your corner. You enjoy this card. I think it's cool. Don't listen to Donkey Kong over here.
I don't think Donkey Nog. He's a really good player.
Donkey Nog is a good player.
Donkey Nog would say this card sucks though. I think because they could have made it so much better.
Let's ask him, ladies and gentlemen, special guest.
Donkey Nog! And then he walks at the curtain, or more accurately, the curtain opens and nobody walks.
Hi, my guys. My name is. I don't even know what he sounds like, to be fair.
I can't remember either, man.
I'm just going to do a Kermit the Frog impression. Hey guys. My name's Donkey Nog. Fuck, I don't know, man.
Donkey, what do you think about this
fried.
card? I'm fried as well. It's the classic set of you part when you hit the bloody second hour plus and you're going and you're running on fumes. Surely we're not doing guess the card today, Adam. Surely we're not doing guess the card today.
But yeah, Bryce isn't here, so that would be fair.
That's definitely why, and not because we're freaking running on fumes. But right, so anyway, analysing this card costs way too much to evolve into. 4 for this card?
You're not meant to evolve.
Are you playing this card just for the security effect, do you think?
Yeah.
Right.
Super cool.
Well, what about this one? If you're playing it just for the security effect, play any green or red option instead and it's better.
Shut up. Just play Medieval Galopmon, okay?
Like, it adding to hand at the end of the turn doesn't matter because the card sucks Bobby when you evolve over it. And it sucks Chungus, man. Like, you're evolving over this. If you don't get the effect when digivolving, so you're probably going to pass turn before here. It's it's not even going to like do anything. The when attacking effect's not even that good. I mean, the when attacking is like okay, but you have to stun something that's already on the board already. It's not good, and the security effect is way weaker than it should be. It should stay on board. And it should not have a when attacking effect or something, and it should count as a Galopmon. But
I think it's cool.
It is cool, but they could have made it good. I'm going to get a 1. I'm literally giving this card a 1, mate.
I'm giving that a 3. I like it.
Right, that's the biggest discrepancy so far. If we see this... Right, are we doing a Ghost Pepper challenge on this, Adam? The classic Ghost Pepper?
Absolutely fucking not, man. I'm a wimp. I will die.
I'll tell you what, right? Will this appear in a deck that tops before BT14? Top 16 at a tournament, will it appear in one?
I'm going to say yes.
I'm going to say no. And if it does by the end of the BT14 meta, right, I have to eat a Ghost Chili, and if not, Adam has to eat a Ghost Chili.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yes, well, let's just see if we remember or not.
Yeah, we're not going to remember. I've already forgotten.
Sound, are you regenerated and ready to talk about the shiny, man?
I am. I got a drink of water stealthily. It felt great.
Holy crap, man.
So, the other half of the shine stuff that we talked about...
Adam, I'm stealthily getting a drink of water myself.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not stealthily, I'm going to get a drink.
So we've got Agumon. Agumon is a 3 cost to play, 2k DP, 1 cost to evolve from anything other than a Coromon. It's fine because you're going to be using Coromons. Start of your main phase, if you've got a red or yellow tamer in play, gain a memory. Relatively decent. And then, this is an Agumon, by the way. And then your turn, once per turn, when your red or yellow tamer becomes suspended, draw 1. It's good. Is it better than the OG sort of Shine Greymon Agumon that came out 1 set ago? Let's see. I'm just trying to remember what it does. Let's scroll. It's not a searcher, so no. I wouldn't say it's better. I don't like the artwork, really. It's him looking around like the back of an alley, awful confused. Like, where's my tamer gone? So it's good in Shine and only in Shine. So, yeah I don't know. I'd give this... I would say honestly a 2-star, but I'd probably say 3 because you have to play it in the Shine deck.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 3 because it's very juicy in the Shine deck. The start of your main phase effect's always going to trigger in Shine because the tamer's so easy to cheat out when
Yep.
BT13 comes out. Does it actually matter that it's this particular Agumon though? Does the Shine Greymon cards have to evolve? Oh, it's a dinosaur in its traits. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Dinosaur, yeah.
Easy to
It
read,
has
and
to
it
be.
has to be included. It's pretty
The
good.
way to notice the difference between the two, other than the traits, is that Dinosaur Agumon has the hand wraps, whereas OG Agumon does not. He is a reptile.
Also, he's got a big nostrils.
He does. Big old nose, man.
Cool.
Then we've got Geo Greymon. The level 4 is a 3 cost to evolve over red or yellow, unless it's over an Agumon with Dinosaur in its traits, and it's a 2, 5 play cost, 5k DP. Exact same effect on both. Gain a memory if you've got a red or yellow tamer in play, start your main phase, and inherited, draw 1 when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended. I mean, it's the same card, pretty much. It's another 3 for me.
Yeah, I feel like this one's almost slightly worse because you're less. I mean, it does let you raise on the 4 as well as the 3, and you're just going to be drawn like crazy if you've got both of these in the stack. I'll give it a 3 as well.
Yeah.
Although, I'll be honest, I didn't realise Geo Greymon had hand wraps as well. Is that a new include?
No, he's always had them because it represents that he's more, he's a bit more like he's portrayed as being a bit more intelligent, a bit more in touch with his, like, combat style and stuff like that.
Yes. Okay.
He's a bit more thoughtful with his attacks as opposed to just being raw. I'm a dinosaur, Greymon.
He's highly
that
intellectual.
Tai has.
I get you.
Then we've got level 5 Rise Greymon, 4 to Digivolve, 7 play cost, 7k DP, 3 Digivolve 3 from Geo Greymon. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's security Digimon get negative 4k for the turn. And inheritable is your turn once per turn when one of your red or yellow tamers becomes suspended. One of your opponent's Digimon and all... It's the same effect. One of your opponent's Digimon and all of your opponent's security Digimon get negative 4k for the turn. This card sucks ass, in my opinion.
It does suck
It's
ass, I'm
so
glad
bad.
you say.
The original Rise Greymon, like the OG Rise Greymon, is better. The yellow Rise Greymon is better. The newer Rise Greymon from the last set is better. And then you've got Rise Greymon X Antibody that you want to put in the deck as well, which cheats out another tamer. This card absolutely sucks, and I have a feeling that they made it that way because they just had to put a Rise Greymon in the set to complete the line. It sucks. It's a 1 for me.
Yeah, this is a 1 for me as well. I mean, I could imagine people putting this into the deck. I mean, you do minus like 8k if you get both the effects in a turn, but that's not likely to happen. It's it's really not good. I'm gonna give it a generous 1.
Yep. And very much like the Gaomon line where it went into Zed Garurumon, the high end for this one is actually Victory Greymon, which is an alternate Rise Greymon Digivolution path, but there's not a lot of synergy. 4 cost to evolve. When Digivolving, delete a 6k or less. For each Digimon your opponent has in play, add 2k to that. And all turns once per turn. When an opponent's Digimon is deleted, if you have a tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. I mean, is it a good SR? Yes. Is it going to see play? I don't think so, which I think this would be a 2-star for me. But they had to put this in because they have no other red Digimon in the set that it makes sense to be in, because Gallantmon got one, and yeah, we're going to talk about Shine Greymon Ruin Mode in a second, but they had to put the level 6 in, so they gave it Victory Greymon because the other Shine Greymon is coming out in BT13.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's a 2-star for me.
It's really not bad, and both this and the Zed Grey pretty much like wipe the board is the intent. I guess that also does imply that it's meant to be used with Rise Greymon from this set because you DP minus something and then you go into this and then you can hit 10k or something. Yeah. So it's still not great, but it has interesting possibilities down the line potentially. It's going to be hard to fit in decks. I'm going to give it a 2.
Yep. And then we've got one of the big boys, one of the secret rares of the set, It has no. It technically has an option. Trident Gaia, which is Victory Greymon's thing, 8 cost. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the highest DP. If a Digimon with 13k or more was deleted, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. This card's a 1. It's an 8 cost. Yeah, it's basically a Gaia Force. Slightly worse because you don't get to target and trash it, but it's too much memory. It's far too much memory.
It's pretty much Gaia Force with slight upside, isn't it? But I don't know if it's worth running.
But still, no. That's a 1 for me. I didn't even want to cover it.
I'm going to give it a 1 as well. It seems a bit filler.
And then Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. This is a secret rare of the set. Currently, this card is £50 for the regular art. It is a purple-yellow. It digivolves from... It is a level 7, so it digivolves from a purple or yellow level 6, or 4 from a Shine Greymon. 14 to play it, you're not going to be playing it, and 15k DP. When digivolving, and on deletion, all of your opponent's Digimon get negative 5k for the turn. So you digivolve into it as part of the Shine Greymon Marcus punching evolve something, a negative 5k something. And then you can trigger its on deletion because its end of attack skill is delete this Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon, and recover +1. And then if you have a Tamer in play, you'll have a Marcus out, you will have it in play. Hatch one Digi-Egg card to an empty space in your breeding area. So essentially, you swing with Marcus, you chip away at security, you digivolve your Shine Greymon into Shine Greymon Ruin Mode for nothing. You get when digivolving, negative 5k the board. It's board, it's a global effect until the end of your opponent's turn. And then you kill it. Kill one of your opponent's Digimon, recover +1, hatch a Digi-Egg, and give the opponent's board negative 5k again. So that's a negative 10k global effect. That is killing everything that isn't a level 6, but the level 6 is also dying because of Shine Greymon's end of attack option. And then if they promote anything under a level 6 on their turn, it's dead. If they play anything under a level 6, it's dead. And if you digivolve into this Light Dragon, or using Marcus's effect, you're not going to pass the turn. You're going to get to hatch a new egg and go back up the stack again and pass turn that way. Or another way. For me, for this card, this is my first 5-star, because it is insanely good.
Yeah.
In Shine Greymon.
And it's a very splashable card as well. Like I made allusion to it earlier on, how Alliance can get into this. It's obviously not as good in Alliance because the high roll isn't as good, but you can also fly up the stack in Alliance into this thing, and it's a really nice level 7 for purple and yellow decks in general. Just being able to put that massive floodgate, pretty much saying if you basically can't play level like 4 and below because they're going to have minus 5k guaranteed, and then the recursion and recovery is really nice too. You can also, like I said earlier on, if you somehow high roll your gold off with HPD, you can go Cherubimon and then evolve into this thing for nothing, and then when digivolving minus 5k, swing, end of attack, delete it, recover 1, put that egg back, and then on deletion minus 5k again. So they've got minus 10k, and then Cherubimon effect kicks in, you play the card again, and you're able to do it again next turn, which is just absolutely sick. Obviously that's a high roll though, but card's got a lot of potential. I'm tempted to give it 5. I'll be real. I'm going to give it...
You can also play it in Sakuyamon decks, and any sort of high-end yellow deck, Venusmon, things like that, because you're applying blanket effects. You can play it in high-end purple. I think this is a solid 5-star card.
I'm tempted to give it 5. I really am. It's hard though. Ooh, I'm gonna give it a 4.
Ooh.
It's close, man. It's like I say, it's very applicable in a lot of decks. I think if I knew more about Shine Greymon down the line, I'd maybe give it a 5. But I think this just gets replaced with the bus mode. I'm not sure if you run both, you might, depending on the meta.
I would plan to run both. Yeah.
You're gonna run like 4.
I'd run 2 personally. But I think you run at the moment you run 4 Ruin Mode. You have to get into it. It's a great card.
Yeah, Evla as well. Like I think if this card's £50 in the UK right now, I think that's a really high price tag for it. I think this will probably settle around like £30-35. Like, if you compare this to something like Death Exmon, Death Exmon's like playable in every deck. We'll probably see some amount of play till the end of the game in Digimon. And this card is not playable in every deck. It is applicable in a lot of decks. It's probably just like hype week, putting it that high.
Even if you look at it though, the set's just come out. It's a £50 secret. Creepymon, when it came out, was £10 max.
Yeah.
Like, the hype is there, but it is a really good card in my opinion.
Oh, definitely.
So good in fact that it doesn't get an option or a tamer in this set.
No, it doesn't need it. It's too broken. It gets all mixed it.
Yep.
Cool.
So we're starting to round up the scraps a bit here. We've got some yellow-blue Kuzuha Sakuyamon stuff. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, man. So firstly, we'll just go with the little straggler of the set. We've got Agumon Expert. We had the evil Agumon going with the theme, the alternate being. Right, we've got Agumon Expert. 3 cost, yellow rookie, 1k DP. Has an opponent's turn effect. Will it be better than the other one? Let's see. When your opponent plays a Digimon, by revealing a Digimon card with the same level as that Digimon from your hand, place the revealed card at the top of your security stat face down. It has... See, this one actually has a way better upside, though, than the other one. But, in my opinion, unless you're able to rig the card to security and make it like a security effect, it's not that great. The fact that it's opponent's turn is really annoying. It's hard to get it to work. They can just pop this or not play a Digimon. So it's like a 2, has potential upside down the line, but right now it's probably not going to see play.
Yeah, I'd say 1 star, 2 star at most.
Yeah, just because he's got upside, I'm being generous.
Probably, I'd say 1.
This is like,
let's face it, it's not going to see play.
This is a cope. This is a card that's 2 merely because people might cope at it. Because to me, the upside is actually like pretty powerful. It is going to be hard to get it off though, so it's probably not going to work out for the copium enjoyers.
I do like sort of the storyline that they've got going on. So you've got Terriermon Assistant, who's falling from shelves in the library after getting hit in the head with a book. You've got Agumon Expert, who is teaching a class on what looks like Digi-Evolution, being observed by Terriermon to a class of in-training Digimon. And then Evil Agumon Expert, or Fake Agumon Expert, is quite clearly teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts or something. Because Terriermon's looking in on Fear while he lectures to Keramon and Demi-Devimon.
Yes.
And he's got a real snide look about him.
Yes.
So that's kind of cool.
It's cool. I think he's got like an evil Terriermon like assistant as well. I don't think we've seen that as a card yet. So we do have one other yellow straggler for the set, and it's Gold Vidramon, a random piece of armor support coming out, and it's a pretty cool card. Does it make armors playable? Again, let's see. 6k DP, 6 to hard play, and 3 to evolve from a level 3 yellow, or it does evolve from a Vmon for a cost of 2. The card's got Armor Purge, we know what that does by now, and has a when Digivolving effect, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2k DP for the turn. If you have a blue or yellow tamer in play, or a card with Armor Form in your trash, one of your opponent's Digimon with 6k DP or less can't attack or block to the end of your opponent's turn.
Yes.
It's a very weird card. It doesn't really fit the armor playstyle much at all. I mean, it is an armor for a cost of 2, but does this even replace like Lydramon in Armor Rush?
No,
I don't think so. I really don't think so. The only upside is it can't block effect, really.
He is Detroit smashing his opponent, which is with Cherubimon, evil Cherubimon, I guess.
It looks like it might be.
It's all right, I suppose.
It is evil.
Do you play it in Armor Rush? Yes, you do. Obviously.
I don't.
Is Armor Rush a good deck?
Armor Rush right now? No, not anymore. It's not great anymore. It needs much more support. We're waiting on that O2 movie to come out, so they'll print more armor cards probably. But the card doesn't seem that great to me. I don't think they're struggling particularly for good Armor Purge cards to run at the minute. I don't think the when Digivolving effect is that good, stunning an 8k.
Yeah, it's alright.
Like, it's
got nice alt art, but that's about it.
The alt art is amazing, man. Really nice. and it's only a rare. To me, this is like a 2-star card right now.
Yeah.
Potential to turn into a 3 later down the line, but the fact that I'm even thinking, is this worth including in the current armour list that's not great? Not a great sign.
Yeah. And then, before we talk about the final sort of cards of the set that it's themed around, we have more Sakuyamon support.
Yes.
These are yellow-blue cards, so they're alternate forms. So we have Renamon, obviously. 4 cost to play, 1 cost to Digivolve unless off of a Viximon, 2k DP. On play, until the end of your opponent's turn, 2 of your opponent's Digimon with 4k or DP or less can't attack. I don't know if that means that once they get above that DP they can. I think it does. And then
I don't know either. I would have said no because it looks like
actually, yeah, it does look like
it applies it. You know what I mean on play.
Yeah.
It's hard to tell because it's not the
then-
exact same wording as like Korikakumon and stuff like that.
Yeah, and then when you use an option card, once per turn, your turn inheritable with a cost of 2 or more, gain 1 memory. That's a good inheritable.
It is.
I'd say it's for a Sakuyamon deck, solid include. I'd say 3 stars.
Yeah, for me, 3 stars as well. It's just good to have a third good Renamon to play in the deck. I think they actually all have the same inheritable as well, so it's just really ups the consistency of the deck. Don't know if it's a good deck yet, but there's potential there at least. And the on play's nice as a little hat trick that you can pull out of nowhere. But you're probably not going to be using it most games.
Yeah, then we've got, so all these cards are yellow-blue, by the way. Then we've got level 4 Yukamon, which is sort of like weird alternate Cubimon, and as such it is also treated as a Cubimon. 2 to Digivolve from a Renamon, 3 otherwise, 4 to play, 5k DP. On play and when Digivolving, 1 of your Digimon in play gains blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, and your turn once per turn inherited. Same
Requirement?
same requirement, option card of 2 or more being played, neg something by 2k. It's good.
It's all, alright.
Yeah, like, it's alright. Do you play it against the old stuff? I don't think you do, because the old stuff is better, so I'd say this is a 2-star for me.
Yeah, it is a 2-star. It doesn't scream like it's an auto-include to me. There might be, I don't know Renamon decks that well. You might just play it through lack of options as a 2 of for your to hit your 10 level 4s, but it's not that good. There's probably better blue and yellow card options available.
Yeah. Level 5 Daumon or Dumon, I'm not
Or maybe
too
even
sure.
Domon, I couldn't tell you.
Domon. It's also treated as a Taumon because it is Taumon basically. On play when Digivolve, 4 cost to Digivolve other than a 3 cost from Cubimon, 7k DP, 7 play cost. On play when Digivolving, return a 6k DP or less to its owner's hand. One of your opponent's Digimon, and inherited, same as Yukamon, neg 2k when you use an option card 2 or more, same as the other sort of stuff. It's not better than the other Taumons and stuff though, so again, this is a 2 copy from me.
Yes, agree. The other thing is, because it's a level 5, the space you have for 5s is a lot more strict than the 4, so it actually makes it probably harder to include because there's already 2 good Taumon, so it's a definite 2 for me, this one.
Yeah. And then we've got the SR rounding out most of the set. We've got Kuzu Hamon, also treated as having Sakuyamon in its name. 3 cost to Digivolve over a yellow or a blue, 12 to play, 11 to KDP. This Digimon's also treated as a Sakuyamon, like I've said. When Digivolving, you can use an option card with a cost of 5 or less without playing its cost. And your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card with a cost of 2 or more, you may play 1 Taumon or 1 yellow-blue or yellow Digimon from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying its memory cost. So that's why all of these cards have an on-play and when Digivolving effect, because it gets to spit stuff out, which is what the blue side of it likes to do. And it also gets to use options for free or less, which is what yellow Sakuyamon likes to do. You can, of course, combo this with Digital Translator, which we talked about earlier on, which lets you Digivolve the Kuzuhamon because it's also treated as having Sakuyamon in its name. You can then Digivolve this into Sakuyamon Maid Mode if you wanted to, and use another option and stuff like that. It's a good card. It's a good SR. Do you play it alongside original Sakuyamon and original Maid Mode? I think you do. I think
Yeah,
you could play one or two of it, just as a nice sort of consistency. It lets you spit out a Talmon, which lets you get into another Sakuyamon or even a Venusmon or something really
yeah.
quickly. Um, I like the card. It's good.
It is really good, man. And now in Sakuyamon, I don't know if it's as broken as you might think it is immediately. It is good just for tempo as well, but the level 6 lineup in Sakuyamon's so highly contested because you've already got a really good Sakuyamon, you've got Maid Mode, which is really good, and as Adam alluded to earlier, you've got Venus one that you probably want to include as well because it's just an insane level 6 for every yellow deck ever. This card is actually nuts in Blue Flare, incidentally. Because you can evolve into it, you can play Blazing Memory Boost for 0, for, well, 3 if you include the evolution of Kuzahamon, and you can also spit out the level 4s that have really good on-play effects. I don't know if he was the first to come up with it, but Huang Zero, who has came up already in the pod, kind of popularised this, and it's actually really, really good in Blue Flare. I think you definitely play this as a level 6 in your Blue Flare deck.
Yep. I'd say it's a 4.
And
4-star for me.
Definitely very powerful card. It's somewhat generic as well, so we could see it popping up in decks down the line as well.
Yeah.
Will Sakuyamon be good this set, do you think, Adam? Do you think it's playable competitively?
It's never been competitively playable, to be honest.
Nah.
I've never seen it make an impact, but it's not for want of trying. It's got so many options, literally options available to it. It's got so many things, but it fails to make a dent, and I think it's because it hasn't got protection effects. Once it dies,
That's one reason,
you
yeah.
have to bring it back all the way up again, by which point you've probably lost.
Yo, but now,
So-
Adam, you play a Talmon. You play a Talmon
Yeah.
now. That's almost as good as protection. You make a second stack, bro.
It dies too.
It does die as well.
Yeah.
I don't literally. I think this card's better in Blue Flare than it is in the Sakuyamon deck. And like I said, there's already a lot of good options at the level 6 line. But it's cool that Sakuyamon's getting some support. Will it be
Yeah.
Pog this set? I don't think so.
Yeah. And then we've got Gaiomon, Black Red, a new Gaiomon. Do you want to talk about that, Cobb?
Yeah, there's a couple of stragglers kicking about. We'll talk about the black yellow one in a minute as well. But Gaiamon's a really interesting card. It's essentially a mode change for the existing Gaiamon. Card's treated as having Greymon and it's named just like the OG Gaiamon as well. So when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with a play cost of 13 or more. If nothing was deleted, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. End of your turn, if you have a Tamer in play, you may digivolve this card into a card with Gaiamon in its name and a play cost of 13 or more from your hand without paying its Digivolution cost and ignoring the Digivolution requirements. So this is a really interesting trick. If you want to build a full Gaiamon deck now, you actually can. I don't know if it's better necessarily than playing like a Raid War Gaiamon list.
You still play the Gaiomon, but you can start to sub out Black War a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's really cool. So first of all, its card art is of him firing a bow, and that's really cool for the reason that I'm about to say. It's got when digivolving, it's going to delete something with a play cost. So you've got your Metal Greymon, your level whatever out.
Yeah.
It's a 4 cost to evolve. Your passing turn, but before you pass the turn, you're going to delete something with a play cost of 13 or more, or trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. And then end of your turn, because your passing turn when digivolving, you're getting to evolve into OG Gaiomon, which is then going to de-digivolve something and then blitz.
Yep.
And OG Gaiomon is of him rushing in with his samurai sword. So he's essentially sniping the opponent from a distance and then rushing into blitz with his sword, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that.
Yeah, the flavour on the card's really nice, and it's just like
it tells a
mode change.
story. Like, these cards tell stories. They're really cool.
It is. I do love that when they tell a story through the card art. Like Yu-Gi-Oh is so good for that, and Digimon's doing a bit here. It's pretty epic, and it's a really interesting like effect, to be honest. So I don't know how strong it'll be. I don't know if it will see play, but purely for the potential and the coolness of the card, I'm going to give it a low 3.
I'm giving it a 3 as well, but it is definitely seeing play in Black War decks for sure.
Yeah.
Especially for Gaiomon lines.
Cool. So moving on, we'll hit another straggler before we go into the big bad of the set. We've got Shadow Seraphimon. Now this card is absolutely nuts. Have you heard about this already, Adam?
I have indeed. I do like
Oh
the
my
card.
god, it's absolutely disgusting. Right now, well, I'll read it to you first, right, and then we'll talk about it. So it's a 12k DP Digimon, 12 to hard drop. You'll never do that though. And it's a 40 Evo over a black level 5 or a yellow level 5. It digivolves for 1 over a Seraphimon. And its effect is opponent's turn. When a card is removed from your security stack, de-digivolve one of your opponent's Digimon. On deletion, recovery 1. Then one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k for each card in your security stack. So this is absolutely insane. Security control is probably going to start taking in normal Seraphimons now, because there's already a decent Seraphimon in security control. We have had people at our locals trying this before. That it basically just recovers you 1 for 3, which is obviously really nice in SecCon. Opponent's turn effect to de-digivolve 1 when something hits the stack is really nice, because so this triggers before the security check goes through and the battle happens, right?
Which effect?
When a card's removed from your security stack. So they swing into security, the card gets removed from security stack, it gets de-digivolved, and then the security check happens, right?
Yep.
So the intention for that
is War Greymon X antibody.
Exactamundo. So it is they're going to swing in and they're going to get de-digivolved. Unless you're like something that's got X antibody or Machinedramon or something, you're going to be a level 5 now and you're likely to die to security check. Even if they delete this card, then you're gonna recover 1, which is amazing in security control and just generally pretty nice. And then you're probably going to nuke something, because you're going to have at least 3 cards in security, I'd imagine, and you're going to minus 12k somebody and probably delete them. So it's really nice, really ridiculous control, kind of floodgatey, and it's also probably going to see play when BT14 rolls around and Patamon gets his time in the sun.
Yes, indeed. I do like him.
I'm going to give this card a 4. Has a very high potential, very annoying card.
I agree. I would also give it a 4.
Awesome. So that's all the stragglers rounded out, I believe. I'm going to do a quick check here.
It is indeed. I have been checking.
Good man, Adam's on top of it. So we've now got the final set. We'll split this up at some point, Adam, when my voice breaks.
Are you an Agumon or a Gabumon line?
I'm an Agumon guy. I don't love Agumon that much, but like when I was a little kid, I liked Agumon a lot more than I did Gabumon.
That's alright, I'll take the Gabumon line then.
Awesome, right, that makes sense. I like that. Oh, the theming is insane. Just as Agumon and Gabumon have split in half and came together to form the mighty Omnimon Otter S, so do I and Adam. So, Sunomon, Adam, that's Gabumon, man. You got to read him, right?
That's true. We've got the Sunomon Egg, which you will play 4 of. When one of your other Digimon in play digivolves, draw 1. It's also like the artwork's weird because it looks like it's a screen cap from an anime, but I don't recall ever seeing this. Granted, I've watched about 40% of the Digimon animes, so I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. And normally I would say that this effect is doo-doo, but because you play it in this specific archetype deck and you are going to be activating his effect a lot, it's a good card in my opinion, so I'll give this a 3-star.
Yeah, it's like a 3. It's specific to the archetype, as Adam says, but memory is kind of failing me as to if there's a better egg for this archetype or not. Probably not. So yeah, it's a 3 to me.
Yeah. So kicking off, we've got Agumon first.
Yep. So Agumon is mirrored with Gabumon in this line, a theme you'll probably see the whole way up. He's a 3 cost to play, 1k DP rookie that evolves over a black egg for 0. On play effect, he's just a lovely searcher. Reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 Digimon with Greymon and 1 Digimon with Gabumon, Garurumon or Omnimon, and it's named to your hand. Place the rest at the top of your deck in any order. And the inheritable is when one of your other Digimon in play digivolves, gain 1 memory. So it's just a nice consistent searcher. The effects are all mirrored with each other in this deck, so this guy searches for Greymon and then searches for Gabumon Garurumon specifically.
Yeah, and then we've got his counterpart Gabumon that does the same thing. Exact same stats. Reveals top 3 and searches for Garurumon and then an Agumon, Greymon or an Omnimon as well. and same inherited. When one of your other Digimon in play digivolves, gain a memory. And this duo were designed and drawn by the legendary Kenji Watanabe, one of the original developers of Digimon card game. He's taken a personal hand in this artwork, and it shows because it looks absolutely stunning.
He's also like the main artist for Digimon as a whole from the originally
Indeed he is.
designed like a majority of the OG guys.
Yes,
Very cool
he is.
artwork. Can I just say something as well? If you're playing this deck and you do not place the Agumon on the left and the Gabumon on the right, what is wrong with you?
have
They are
something
looking
wrong
at each
with
other.
you.
And also, another cool point on this, right? Greymon makes up the left arm of Omnimon, and Gabumon makes up the right arm.
Yes, he does.
So that is insane theming. Yeah, cool cards, just consistency boosters. And if you guys don't know, the main gimmick of this deck is chaining up the evolution line for a very reduced cost, while having 2 of your Digimon in play. It's quite awkward, but it could be cool.
Remember how I was on absolute copium about Imperial Dramon
Yes.
from EX3? Well, I'm still on copium that deck's good. It's not, but I still like the theming of it. However, this is the exact same thing, except they fucking refined it a bit better,
Yeah.
and it's actually good. So I want to build this deck and play it.
Yeah, it's meant to be like competitively viable at least.
I hope so.
So let's see it.
As I search up singles on Card Market and accidentally go into Card Factory.
You're going to be paying a lot for this deck right now. Your best bet, Adam, is that this deck doesn't do anything for a while and you can get the deck a lot cheaper. Cool. So I'll read my Greymon first. We've got a 5 cost, 5k DP, 2 to evolve Greymon here. He is black in nature. And when Digivolving, may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a level 6 or lower Digimon card with Ganurumon in its name from your hand for the cost, but it does reduce it by 2 when you use it by effect. And he's got a reboot inheritable, which is kind of tasty.
Yeah, and the Gabumon, Garurumon.
I'm coughing at the
last
shock
couple
of
of
that.
seconds. That was cursed, man. Same thing on Garurumon. You may, when Digivolving, you may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a level 6 or lower Digimon card with Greymon in its name for its Digivolution cost. When Digivolution by this effect, reduce its cost by 2, and it's got Reboot Inheritable as well. So you're going into your level 5, or you're bringing up your Agumon into Greymon for a reduced cost of 0, or you're going into your level 5 for a 1 cost as well.
Yeah.
All of these effects mirror themselves all the way up with no discrepancies, so it's just a repeat basically.
Yeah.
But again, it is cool.
Definitely, it's really interesting. Like you can potentially go right up the line in one turn if you keep seeing the pieces. So it's definitely a cool concept. Moving on to level 5s now, we've got a lovely Koki artwork once again from your man. 7k DP, 7 cost to hard drop. I've lost for 3 from a black level 4. It has blocker, and when Digivolving, it's the same effect pretty much. You may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a level 6 or lower Digimon card with Garurumon in its name from your hand for its Digivolution cost and reduce the cost by 2. Although when you get to this point, you are going to start paying 1 memory because you'll have already used your Gabumon and Agumon effects. So, very interesting though, very cool how it works.
Yes,
It's got
and
blocker and
metal. Where Garurumon does the exact same thing. When Digivolving, you may Digivolve one of your other Digimon into a Greymon, reduce it by 2, and it's got blocker inheritable. Same again, and it is by Koki once again.
Very nice, very nice. Moving on to the level 6s, we've also got twin level 6s for the deck, and it is the alternate forms of Greymon and Garurumon here. So we've got Blitz Greymon firstly. He's 12 to hard play, 12k DP. Evolves for 4 over a black or red level 5, but he does Digivolve for 3 over Metal Greymon. So when Digivolving, you can activate one of the below effects, so you do have a nice option here. You can de-Digivolve 3, one of your opponent's Digimon. We've seen how powerful Chaos Dramon is, so de-Digivolving something by 3 is actually really powerful. Or, you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon into a Digimon card in your hand for the cost of that Digimon. So obviously the idea of this is you chain all the way up the line, you bounce back and forth, beep, 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 you get to the top, and then you are going to jogress into something tasty. It also has the effect that you can use. You may digivolve one of your other Digimon in play into a level 6 or lower Digimon card with Garunamon in its name without paying the cost. So if you've not got to the other level 6 yet, you can use this one, and it's probably mirrored with the other one, so then you can use the other effects. That might be the case.
Oh no.
It's also just like an okay level 6 in general. If you are scrubbing out and you're not seeing your pieces, which is very possible, you do just have that D-Digivolve, and you can, when attacking once per turn, if this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, inheritable, trash the top card of the opponent's security stack.
Yes, and speaking of the other half, we've got Garurumon. It is 3 to Digivolve for 3 from Where Garurumon, 4 from anything else. Well, let's face it, it's not really going to be, unless you cross over and Digivolve your Metal Greymon into Garurumon, in which case you need help.
Do not.
When digivolving, activate one of the effects below. So it's not a D-Digivolve, boy. Instead, it is choose any number of your opponent's Digimon whose play costs add up to 6 or less and bounce them to the bottom of their owner's deck. Second effect is DNA it into a level 7, pretty much. Or third effect is you can digivolve one of your other Digimon into play into a level 6 or lower Digimon with Greymon in its name without paying its memory cost. And it's inherited if this Digimon has Omnimon in its name, return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower to the bottom of its owner's deck.
Yes.
So, the whole point
though,
of this, yeah.
I was just going to say, like, this card as a standalone seems significantly worse than the Blitz Greymon.
It's definitely not as good, but you're not really meant to play it. So Blitz Greymon and Garurumon are their alternate forms. Basically, they just swapped their weapons around, so Greymon now has a gun and Garurumon now has a sword instead of the other way around, basically. But you want to evolve into either Blitz or Cress. You then want to use that Digimons when digivolving to digivolve your other guy into their level 6 form, and then you want to activate their when digivolving to jogress the two together to form Alter S, which is our level 7. It's a super rare because there's one form yet to come. So we've got Alter S, Omnimon Alter S, which is Altered Self, basically, the whole point of this set. It DNAs from a blue level 6 and a red level 6. Gress and Blitz Greymon are black blue and black red specifically. You could also use this to digivolve from anything other as well, other blue and reds. But I don't know why you would, because that seems really unsynergistic. When digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 8k DP or less, then bounce a level 6 or higher to the bottom of its owner's deck. And then when this Digimon would leave play, except by one of your effects, play a Blitz Greymon and /or Garurumon from this Digimon's Digivolution cards without paying their memory costs. Then place this card at the bottom of your security stack face down. Lots of effects. So basically, if you try to kill this thing, it's going to shit out Garurumon and Blitz Greymon again, a la the anime, and then it's going to go to the bottom of your security stack. So that's going to be another threat for your opponent to face.
Adam,
pretty cool.
Here's a question for you, right?
15k.
Here's a question, right? So, you might not know this because it's not came up yet, and we've not looked ahead here. What happens if you de-digivolve it?
What happens if you de-digivolve it?
Do you go into the top level 6, or do you go no and spit them out?
Well, it's not leaving play. De-digivolving is not leaving play. The Digimon is still leaving play.
It's not when this card would leave play, which is an important difference for, like, I think, what's his name? Big Cosmic Man. Oh no, wait, Big Cosmic Man doesn't even say that. No, you're actually right. Cool, yeah, no rulings debacle coming up here then.
Yeah, so you can de-digivolve it away all you want. That's its only weakness, really, is de-digivolving it. And yeah, it's a pretty good card. And then that brings us to what happens when Alter S gets fed a virus. It digivolves into Alter B. which is our second secret rare of the set. If you want to take it away, Cobb.
Yes, so this epic guy comes from Digimon World Next Order. He's very cool. That's a very fun game, as jank as it is. And your man Sasahi has done the art, Adam. You love him, right?
Oh, I love Sasahi. Yeah, he does look good, doesn't he?
Of course. Now, he digivolves for 2 from a level 7 if his name contains Omnimon. We already know he will. 15k DP, costs 5 to evolve from a level 6 if you'd ever want to do that. When digivolving, digivolve 3 one of your opponent's Digimon, then choose up to any number of your opponent's Digimon whose total play cost is 6 or less and delete them. When attacking, by trashing up to 3 level 6 or higher cards from this Digimon's Digivolution sources, for each card trashed, delete one of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers with the lowest play cost. If 3 cards were trashed, trash the top 2 cards of your opponent's security. So this combo is pretty much going to nuke the whole board. It's probably going to pop most of the Tamers, and it's more than likely going to just de-digivolve and bounce, or de-digivolve and delete everything on the board. So it's pretty nice. I don't know if it's quite an would you say this is an Exodia? If you get this off, do you win?
I mean, it takes a lot to get it.
It does. And the other thing is, from the looks of it, I'm not sure if you can do this all in one turn anyway, if you've not got enough memory.
Oh, you definitely could. Right, so you digivolve your Greymon, your Metal Greymon into your Blitz for 3. Let's say you start the turn with 3, that's standard. That takes you to 0. You then get to digivolve into Cress. You then get to Jogris, you're still on 0. You then get to when digivolving effect, and then you get to either swing with Alter S, or you get to evolve straight into Alter B, get a win digivolving, and you're either going to pass turn, or you could potentially get something else off as well.
The thing is though, like, see when you get to Alter S, see if you've got like 1 memory or less, which is entirely possible with the amount you've spent to get up here, you don't even get the when attacking of Alter B, which is the most powerful part of it. And the other thing is, it doesn't, once it gets to Alter B, it doesn't have the protection from the Alter S anymore either, so it's like, you kind of have to evolve to Alter B. It feels like most of the time you're going to evolve to Alter B after you've climbed to Alter S the following turn, because they're going to struggle to remove it, right? So, I don't know, I feel like there's so many, like, hiccups that could pop up with this deck. Like, even in a perfect world, which might not happen, it seems dubious. For one, I'm quite surprised that the amount of like competitive hype that this deck has. Like, I don't think anyone's going to think it takes the world by storm or anything, but I'll be impressed if this gets a top 16. I can just imagine it.
Extremely good Ultimate Cup deck.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
No, it's
because
horrible.
Everything you have
Cup.
is black.
Is it?
Well, apart from Omnimon.
Omnimon Alter S, you can't play it because it's white.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, I'm
talking absolute bollocks, mate.
They've ran it down, mate. They've absolutely ran it down. But it's super cool.
Made it.
It's super cool. They could have made it black white as well, which I don't get because they made Alter B black for some reason. But I mean, this is all one package, Adam. What would you rate it out of 5?
I'd give it I'm giving this a fucking 4. I want this to be good. Imperial Dramon wasn't. I need this to be fucking good, man. Just let me chain up the stack and do my shit. I don't care if you win.
I think it would be very cool if it's like consistent. I don't know how it's going to be consistent. I don't know what sort of like memory. I mean, I guess you just jam 4 black memory boosts into it. I don't think there's enough searching. I think they should have put searching somewhere as they're evolving up the stack.
I think this is maybe a 3. My main question though, right, is that what other level 3 do you play? Because you play 4 Agu, 4 Gabumon, but there's not like a third one to give it the 12 synergy.
What's the black Agumon, man, that searches?
Is this the Toy Agumon reboot? Like,
I reckon, well, so it already gets reboot. That's another thing that I think's strange. They didn't give it, like, block and inheritable, so it's like, oh, he's
they did.
Oh, wait, sorry, the level 5s. What I meant to say was,
5s.
I'm surprised that they gave them the same inheritable at the level 5 and 4 stage, because you're going to get both of them anyway. So it's not like you're able to double dip really with it.
I suppose it's so you could swing with both, I guess, maybe.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, I guess if you're not getting the chain, I think this deck entirely depends if it's good or not on how good the actual field plays are. Because how many games do you think you're going to be able to go bing, 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 all the way up from the 2/3s all the way up to the Omnimon? Like, it's not going to happen much. The Agumon I'm thinking about reveals for a Greymon, which could be okay. Top 4 for a Greymon, I don't know. You might even just put 4 Chumon in. Or, I don't know if there's any other good searches for this.
Yeah, I don't think there is.
No, probably not.
Chikurimon.
Mate, just jam 4 Chikurimon in, you can't fail
Chikurimon,
that,
there you go.
It delays them while you're spending 5 turns looking for the whole shebang.
Yeah.
It's just so, like, the other thing I think's strange about it is, you, basically, to do this chain, you have to have... So there's 2 ways you can do it. You can either have you can get given 4 or 3 memory, and you have an Agumon in Raising, and then you play the Gabumon and evolve that way, or you have like a 4 in Raising, and you raise out and play the 3. It seems so clunky, man.
Yeah. But it's got some more synergy. We've got a Tamer, and we've got an option. We've got Matashida and Tai Kamiya blue-red. Your turn, when you play an Agumon or a Gabumon, tap this Tamer, gain a memory. Good. Essentially, it's a 4 cost, which becomes a 3 cost. And then your turn, once per turn, when one of your Digimon digivolves, if you have 1 or fewer Digimon in play, and that Digimon has Greymon in its name, you can play a Gabumon. And if it's got Garurumon in its name, you can play an Agumon. So basically, you've just promoted, so say, classic turn 1 play, evolve to your level 3, set this Tamer. Turn 2, you evolve into Greymon, not tap, you just get to play a Gabumon out, and then Gabumon gets to, because the timings trigger, you get to choose whether you activate Greymons when digivolving first or the Tamer. So you obviously activate the Tamer, play out your Gabumon, then activate Greymons when digivolving to digivolve it into Garurumon, and then up the stack you go, assuming you have all the pieces.
It's very cool. I mean, I'll be honest, I kind of forgot about this Tamer. It makes it a lot more streamlined. Do the Agumon and Gabumon search for it?
They do not.
So there's no searcher for this Tamer that seems like pretty key to the gameplay plan.
No.
Which is a bit sad, man.
It's not got a good full art either. It's literally just the same thing without a border.
Stinky.
But then we have the option card, which I think is pretty good. Adze Beast Blade and Shining Dragon Bullet. They really did not think of a shorter name for it.
Nah.
It costs 3, and it is a blue-red, so you do need a blue and a red in play. Which only the Tamer can fulfill, really. So you basically have to have the Tamer out. Activate one of the effects below, so it's got 2 effects, and again it's a mirror. If you have a Crest Garurumon in play, you can warp, basically digivolve one of your Agumon or Greymon into a Blitz Greymon card from your hand without paying its cost and ignoring its digivolution requirements. And same again, other effect is if you have a Blitz in play, you can digivolve one of your Gabus or Garus into a Crest Garurumon. So you say you've went all the way up the stack and you've got your Blitz Greymon out. You can play this card assuming you've got the Tamer, and then warp your Agumon straight into Crest Garurumon. Sorry, warp your Gabumon straight into Crest Garurumon, and then activate it when digivolving. So it's a cool way of getting back up the stack quickly. And it rewards a certain playstyle. So you could either bring your guys out and be super aggressive going up the stack immediately, or if you want to be conservative, keep it in raising, then bring it out and use this this option card. You're then rewarded for that. You can still get your level 6 out. Yeah. And its security effect is play out an Agumon or Gabumon from hand or trash without paying its memory cost. It doesn't add to hand though. But it's a good option. I still think you play this as maybe a 3 of in the deck because it helps your warping capabilities.
I concur. It seems like they've definitely rounded the edges off of this kind of Jogrist chain deck.
Yeah.
I still think it does have some edges, but it's the Tamer and the option cards really help round it off.
But it's pretty good. For the tamer, I'd give it I'd round it in with the rest of the package, 3-4 stars ish.
Yeah, I'm like a 3-5 on the whole package really.
Yeah.
It's like if this tops like a couple of times, I wouldn't be that surprised. But do I think it's like going to win a tournament? I highly doubt it. Like think of how much luck you'd have to get to win a tournament with this deck.
Yeah. And then rounding off the entire set is an option card we forgot to cover. It's Gaiamon's option, Gaia Reactor, black card, 6 cost to play. Choose one Digimon each player has in play with the highest play cost. Delete all Digimon other than the chosen Digimon. It sucks. It's not good.
Yeah,
I wouldn't play this.
It's pretty cool. It's literally just like a board wipe. It's like a kind of selective board wipe, but I mean a card like Black Gaia Force didn't see any play. It is cheap being 6 though, and you get to choose both the Digimon, right? So you could potentially choose like a low level guy your opponent's got, and then delete the rest. So there is some potential. It's like a cheeky number 2 star for me.
Yeah, but that was a lot. This is a long set review, man. Like we need to fucking. Marcus the Bone Duster warns on YouTube, saying, "Just finished listening on Spotify. Another great episode. It was nice to put a face to Adam's voice at the regional. I hope you enjoyed your burger. Great. I hope I enjoyed my. I don't think I did. To be fair, I don't think it was very good.
Was it crap? Was this
It
at
was
the
not very
regional?
good.
She had it.
Yeah, it was like standard Expo burger. It was not great.
£10 very mid.
Yeah, £20 very mid. I think
No.
it was very bad.
I hope you could claim that back, man.
I could, but I didn't enjoy it.
Shit, bro.
Thanks for mentioning the deck lists on Limitless. I didn't know that was a thing. I'm always happy to shout out Limitless. It's very good. However, the system needs refining, as I checked the other blue Leomon decks, and calling them Leomon decks is fake news. Yeah, it does need a bit of work, but it's automatically categorizing it by the most sort of themed around cards, so that's why.
Well, it's not though. Like I think it's old. I think they made this system like a while ago or something, to the point where it was like, okay, what are the deck archetypes we have here? Or if like the Ragnar Lord guy who got 7th place at the tournament, or if you got Ragnar Lordmon in your deck, you're a Ragnar Lordmon deck. No, I'm not, man. I'm playing Machine Dramon featuring Ragnar Lordmon.
Yeah. But I think that'll do it for today then, folks. As always, thank you very much for listening to this very long episode. If you've survived to the very end, say the word bubbles in the comments. I hope your your sanity's not gone like ours has.
I'm gonna cry if I don't see any bubbles in the comments next.
Please give us bubbles, guys. We
Bubbles,
didn't do
darling.
this for nothing. But don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, comment, and all that jazz. Our question of the set is always, what are you most hyped for from EX04? Let us know down in the comments. And yeah, any closing thoughts, Cobb?
Where are my Alliance Copium enjoyers at? There are many of us. There are many of us out there, Adam.
Yeah. My closing thoughts are, boy oh boy, I can't wait to not play this set because I don't have product and I'm not going to get any before BT13 comes out.
I know there's only 1 month between the sets. Is that like the shortest window we've had in a long time?
Yeah, and the set's released on time for a change, so yeah, it definitely is.
Huge result for your man.
Yeah. But that's us for today then, folks. Thank you very much for listening as always. I've been Adam.
And I have been Cobb. Thanks
see you
for
next time.
watching. Cheerio. Goodbye.
Bye.